Healing frequencies are open and open on a rather bitter note too, because Jake apparently doesn't have any problem saying I love you to Sam, but not to me. So whatever. I guess
Say it to me either.
Sorry,
but,
he
you
told
know,
me. He
whatever.
told me earlier. Sorry.
he told you earlier, right? Okay.
Oh,
Fine.
cool.
Whatever. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Last Excelsior. It's a very special episode tonight as we're wrapping up this year-plus long campaign. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and going with us on yet another Star Trek journey. It's been absolutely lovely, and I'm just very grateful to be here tonight with friends telling another chapter closer of a story. So we're going to kick things off because we're going to be running kind of a tight ship tonight. So before we get into the game, let me just make a quick announcement. Actually, Eliza, do you want to start with your announcement first? What's that like?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I will make it quick. So I am taking over the Monday night game starting next Monday. I'm going to be running these fabulous little cuties through an original homebrew of the Gumshoe system. I'm calling it Pando. If you know that name, that is the name of the largest tree in the world, in the universe, maybe. We don't know, but maybe, probably. And Pando lives in Utah. It's a real thing. It's an aspen clonal tree forest. It's one tree one root system that shoots up clones of itself. And it's the most gorgeous, incredible thing. And I've been enamored with it. I've actually been dating it since about 2019, non-exclusively. But I'm kind of obsessed with Pando, kind of very obsessed with Pando. So Pando, I wanted to make a game out of it, and I'm finally doing it. So it's experimental. It's very new. These folks, I hope they have a lot of fun. And I'm going to make it not too complicated so that we could just enjoy playing in the forest.
I love that. All right. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. Real quick, I do have a couple of other things to update as I just got permission from he who does not love me has informed me that two things. First of all, big announcement is that Blackness and Dragons is returning to Althaven. It's going to start up again February 3rd at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. Definitely don't miss it. That show is absolutely bonkers. and all the stories I hear about it are phenomenal. So definitely tune in. The other announcement is Jake would also like to announce that Jake is going to be taking over after Eliza. So once Eliza's campaign has wrapped up, Jake is going to be taking the center chair and is going to be running a game for the StreamPunks. The game is going to be Wild Sea, which I don't know that much about that RPG, except for that it is in stock at Geeky Teas and Games, and it's gorgeous. This is a stunning core book. So everything that Jake has told me about it, it sounds so bizarre and amazing. So looking forward to seeing that. And last thing is there's been some questions. I'm going to go ahead and hint at things to come, but we've been asked a couple of questions I've been getting about StreamPunks and what I'm going to be doing as game master in the future. So real quick snapshot of it is that we have all those wonderful unlocks that we are currently messing around with right now and prepping to run. So if you'll remember, we had some unlocks from the previous fundraiser that we did. Since we're actually kind of in like line of sight on the next fundraiser coming up in months from now, we haven't locked in the date yet, but it is behoven to us to get these unlocks done. So we've got a BattleTech game coming up, we've got a Star Wars game coming up, we have a Descent into Midnight, which is not an unlock, but now is ready to go because of the PDF being available to us, and that is going to be published pretty soon. So I'm very excited about all this stuff. And there is a super secret project that I am still not ready to announce just yet, but that has been working, that will be available to subscribers of StreamPunks. So if you are a StreamPunks supporter, this is going to be available to you guys exclusively and will eventually roll out, but it will be initially exclusive to StreamPunks supporters and Aux crew.
If you're a StreamPunks hater, though, you're welcome over here with me.
You can join Sam. And then the last thing is just to let you all know, we've been kind of rolling this out on the socials recently, and that is that StreamPunks is starting to move its priority, like it's using as a channel to reach out to Aux Crew, we are moving our stuff over to Patreon. Coffee is not closing. That's staying exactly the where it is. But because of well, how do I put this? An onslaught of bastards trying to basically defraud StreamPunks with chargebacks, we're going to Patreon. And Patreon also has an enormous amount of video support. It has changed dramatically since we launched 5 years ago. So we're going to start focusing our main content updates over there. That's going to be enacted starting in February. So stay tuned for that information. If you want to stay subscribed to us on Coffee, you absolutely can. No, that's not going anywhere. Membership tiers, though, have been removed from Coffee, and those are going to go up for new signups over onto Patreon. We're also going to be updating the reward tiers. So stay tuned for all that stuff, because that's all me, baby. Now that I'm not running games Monday nights, I am taking over, making sure that I can sink this ship as quickly as I sank Geek and Sundry. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that out loud.
The truth finally comes.
It's true. It's all me. It was all me.
It was glorious.
Tell Felicia. I want her to know it was me. Thank you guys so much for letting me be your GM for 5 years and Monday nights. It's been fun. The capital gasps in chat. Thanks. It's been fun, thanks and stuff. All right. With that, is there any other announcements we have that we want to get underway before we kick off the game?
I'll give an announcement real quick.
Go for it.
Again, as always on Wednesdays, everyone Table Story. That's TableStory at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm in the campaign called Department of Unsolved Mysteries, or DUM. We just met a character who, in my opinion, gives me very much River Song vibes, because we're going to be meeting her out of time, out of order. As campaign goes on, and that really tickles my fancy. But if you enjoy that kind of stuff, check it out. Also, I'm allowed to talk about it now, but I'm one of the writers on the Pathfinder 2nd Edition High Seas book that was announced a couple of days ago. No, a week ago at this point, I think. It was, if you like pirates, islands, and assassins, that kind of stuff as well. If you hate it, I'm sorry, buy it anyway, and then tell me how much you hate it. But if you enjoy it, buy it as well, and tell me how much you enjoy it.
Well said.
But it's in pre-order right now.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Drac. Anybody else?
Now I know where to direct my hate.
Yeah, because Sam's gonna have to put that on hold until I take, until I come back to run like BattleTech or something. Somebody's got to fill it for me. It's gonna be you, Drac.
I'll just charge up for BattleTech. Don't worry.
All right.
I'll say, speaking of an onslaught of bastards and where to direct your hate, I live in Minneapolis. And last time we streamed, I gave a little bit of a spiel about what was going on. And stuff has gotten weirder. And I'm not going to talk your ear off like I did last time, but I have a little bit of a more focused idea of ways to help here. Specifically, the Women's Foundation of Minnesota has an immigrant rapid response fund. They were wonderful. We talked with them for basically a week for the fundraiser we did this past weekend. They are making probably some of the best use of the support. If you are not going through like GoFundMe's and stuff, this might be one of the best places that you can support. So if you go wfmn.org on their homepage, the first thing you see should be the Immigrant Rapid Response Fund. And they're doing some really, really good work. So I highly recommend checking that out. Also, if you're in the United States, call your representatives, complain at them on the phone. It's cathartic and it does some good. Much love from Minneapolis. Thanks to everybody who's been checking in and sending your support. It sucks. It all sucks, but loving our neighbors and getting to know people and organizing has been a boon to my soul and a buoy to my heart. So, love from Minneapolis. Fuck ice.
Yeah.
Fuck ice.
Indeed. All right. With that, let's go ahead and begin tonight's final episode of The Last Excelsior.
Last Excelsior.
Welcome back. Let's go ahead and begin tonight's stream. Let's let this giggle get out because it's a little hard to cut into something serious after what was just said before we.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. There are times I was there, y'all. I was there, and I can tell you that there are some times where Sam Riegel has nothing on you guys. Like when y'all right before we go live. Like I'm just saying, I was there. All right, Gandalf. All right, we have a story to tell. So, we open tonight's final episode with a voice from the USS Pride. It's hard to believe that it was only 10 months ago. Well, that it was only a 10-month assignment when I began my work on the USS Pride. She was an old, outdated, outclassed ship from a bygone era. Just like ships of times past, she had the adoration of everyone who walked her corridors. The USS Pride was a relic from a golden era in Starfleet's history, where larger-than-life captains and their extraordinary crews ventured into the unknown and forged a new future for the Federation. But the Pride's last tour of duty was more than just an experiment. It was symbolic. Yes, there is something to be said about the dangers of looking back for too long. And I'll spare you the pablum of not seeing what's coming and all the other cliches of missing life because you weren't looking forward. What I won't spare you is what I learned in my time sailing on that old artifact. Final cruise of the USS Pride is where I learned that none of this was ever about looking back. It was about promising to never forget. And I reaffirm that now. I swear I am never going to forget. Her final voyage began with orders to the Devaris system, a backwater system of no strategic value to anyone. The Phantom Romulan time ship that we had all been tracking, well, it had finally run out of time and was unleashing what they call a temporal cascade cluster. Essentially, she was a dying predator, thrashing in her corner and threatening to kill anyone who got too close. And thanks to the volatile nature of those damned variant anti-chronotons, Starfleet only had a single vessel that could get close. The scene opens with this information being passed on to our captain. Admiral Rollin is looking quite critical as he stares at you from across subspace at his desk at Starfleet HQ. You can see the concern on his face as he relays to you some of the information that long-range sensors and distress calls have been sending in to Starbase. Naturally, as per usual, being a ship in the reserve fleet, the USS Pride has been kind of out of range of most Starfleet vessels doing what you all do. But the most recent events has positioned the USS Pride, of course, being the only Starfleet that's within a day of response. Rollin's message is so far away, in fact, that there is a minor delay, but the information has been disseminated quite accurately and promptly. This thing called the temporal cascade cluster. Apparently, what's being reported are bizarre, conflicting events that are all happening in this star system. Reports are coming in of phantom ships appearing and disappearing. Distortions in space-time. Essentially a complete breakdown of reality around this star system. Now, in anticipation of what you might ask, does anybody live in the Devaris system? Yes, there is a early post-industrial warp civilization of about 7 billion people who are currently under threat because of the temporal cascades that are happening here. Starfleet is only guessing at what is going to happen if this cascade continues to grow. You are all shown a visual on like a tactical 3-dimensional display in the briefing room. that shows the star system itself and an ever expanding imperfect bubble that looks like it is growing towards the edges of the system and towards the inner parts of the system, threatening the worlds that are there. Starfleet does not know exactly what the effects of this bubble are going to be when it reaches that Class M planet. They do know, based off of the experiences that the Pride has had, that it's entirely possible this entire world could be erased from history or worse. But it's only conjecture. You guys are the only ones with actual experience in dealing with this. So, with that in motion, he finishes this briefing and he orders the USS Pride has been ordered at maximum warp and is to stop this event from happening. And if it means destroying the Romulan time ship, then so be it. But do everything you can in your power to reconcile and end this before it's too late. It's underscored again that because of the nature of the mission, you will be alone. No other Starfleet vessel can enter that field and risk their crew and the people on board. So as Rollin finishes up giving you this briefing, there's just a stretch of quiet at the table as this kind of sinks in for you, Captain, and everybody else.
Thank you, Admiral. We will do what we can.
The look of sympathy plays across Admiral Rollin's face as he says, the Pride was only ever supposed to be a reserve fleet ship that was flight testing our wing of Griffin fighters. And look at where this took you. And yet, you've risen to the occasion. Starfleet's putting all of its hopes in you. Keep us posted as much as you can. We are sending people to observe from the perimeter of the system, but they won't be to at your location for another 48 hours.
And I guess we have to do some thrilling heroics.
Wish I could be flying with you again, Commander.
They all do.
Let's immediately set a course and strategize.
Aye, Captain.
Captain.
Clear skies, Pride. Starfleet out. As the comms cut, Haven turns to everybody and says, well, of course, we've compiled as much data as we can on these anti-chronoton particles, and honestly, I think we're as well equipped to get creative with it as we can be. My big question is, what are we going to do about our strange visitor, our stowaway? Have we granted him asylum yet? Is that going to be a thing that happens?
I thought that was on Starfleet's end.
I believe we've submitted it. Have we? I should know.
Dr. Conway pipes up and says, it's going to be on Starfleet. He's going to be allowed to stay aboard the USS Pride at the grace of the captain, and we will follow through all the procedures, but it's nothing to worry about now. Something to worry about if it comes up during the battle, perhaps, if there is a battle or whatever we're about to fly into. And it is worth noting, too, Captain, that your security officer has shared her concerns with me, and while I tend to wish to side on I wish to see things in a glass half full way, Captain, but I have to admit that I too have been getting a vibe. As though we're not being told everything.
Okay.
Y'all can just call him a liar if Raleigh pops up. I mean, he's lying, right? Even if it's by omission, he's lying about something.
I think that hiding as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Does anyone else has anyone else had similar thoughts?
I don't really get a feeling for someone and whether or not they're a liar until I call them out to their face first and see how it goes. Happy to do so at any point, Captain. Just say the word. They sit forward in their seat a little bit more.
Observing someone's reaction to a statement or an event is an excellent way to gather information about their state of mind. So
Yeah, exactly like that.
I think that would be a very smart approach. We should do that.
Aye, sir.
There is a grin on Zarya's face. She just kind of lowers her chin and grins at that.
Can't say I picked up on anything, but I think there's very few people who are as in tune with suspicious people than our security officer here, so I'm willing to trust her.
Well,
Thank you.
Zarya folds her hands in front of her. She goes, I honestly don't think we're going to get anything more out of him. I think it's mostly just keeping an eye on the situation and seeing how he reacts. That leads me to what I was going to request, Captain. She turns to you. I would like to put a security detail on him. We can make it subtle, but I don't think that's out of line considering the implications of basically, I mean, how do we want to characterize this? It sounds to me like we are being ordered to fly into a star system that's basically being enveloped by his brain from the future in the form of a Romulan ship that wants to wipe everything out.
I also am anticipating he will not want us to go there and do this, but we have a mandate and we have to. So I think we should be prepared for a lot of resistance from him. So a security detail, actually, I'm not quite as concerned about it not being subtle, to be honest. Zarya.
Is the detail before or after I call him a liar? I just wanted to make absolutely sure, Captain.
Preferably at the same time.
Well, let's think this through. Can you call him a liar in a way that is not super hostile?
Sure.
You know how like there are people who don't say what they mean, but you can tell that they mean something else and you're not sure what they mean. Can you do it like that?
I can do it in a non-hostile fashion, sir.
Excellent. So let's do that. Time whenever you feel is sooner rather than later. Let's actually get the security detail going right now if you can. Send that out. Keep him. I will go down and talk to him, but if he does ask, you can tell your people that Captain's orders are that we are going to be entering a very dangerous, probable rescue mission, and we need to just know where he is at all times. And for his safety and security, we want to keep him confined to just a couple of places with a security detail when he does need to go.
Understood.
Also, Sharila, right?
Are you talking about
Zara's surname?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. I'm sorry. I still feel very new to this ship. And, when I was first officer, I never called you by your last name.
She shrugs and says, "It's all right, Captain. It's not an easy name for most."
Well, it's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
It's nice.
I agree.
So, Lieutenant Commander, so because of the nature of this person that we have here, being in some way digital, technical as well, I would also like to have a security detail on his technical and digital presence. So,
well, I could try to lock out certain access points on the ship, but what makes this weird is that, from what I understand, he is a what did we characterize him as? Vrolly says he's kind of a time echo, really, like a living time echo of somebody who died very recently in comparison to the other things that have happened. So it could be maybe slightly of an oversimplification to say that he is basically a projection of a time echo brought upon by the variant antichronoton particles that are infused into the ship's hull?
That's one part of him, right? Isn't he also like 1/9 of an AI consciousness thing from the future?
That's true. I honestly, yes, that is true. He is a slice of an AI's consciousness, and something like if a piece of your personality literally rebelled and leapt out of your brain and went and formed into a body somewhere else to go, live its own life, is kind of the
Mhm.
pitch that he's been making for us. But honestly, to be blunt, Captain, we're doing the best we can with what we got. I think the person who has all of those answers is Prism.
Right. Well, the reason why I ask is because I would like to. I don't like the idea of surveillance. Just in many ways, yeah. But because of the situation, and because we don't know what threats he might pose to us, and also there are threats that are posed to him. He is fleeing those other pieces of him. So suffice it to say, I am asking if we can just have an eye on him.
Zarya, your Andorian security officer leans forward, and Zarya looks like you see a little bit of a jaw clench. It doesn't look like she's angry so much as determined. She says, "Captain, I completely support this.
Okay.
It's the truth.
I thought that was going to go a different way.
No, I fully support this. I think I personally would go the step farther and put him under surveillance. The truth is that he is a variable and a danger to everybody on the ship if we don't know what we're flying into. And when you are sailing into a critical situation like this, you want to minimize the variables. And
Yes.
he is a huge variable, Captain. And
Yes.
I'm trying not to let my suspicions get the best of me.
Look, Captain, when there's a little kid running around, we keep an eye on them so they don't stick their finger in an electric socket. We're trying to save this being from themselves. And sometimes you got to keep an eye on someone. That was, in fact, my sibling's entire raison d'etre time to time.
Thank you, Commander. And thank you both. If there are any other thoughts or objections to some level of surveillance of our guest, please feel free to speak them.
No objection, but maybe I can add on to it.
Please.
I'm assuming I've debriefed everyone about my situation. We jump
I'm going to say, especially because of Raleigh is the one that referenced Prism. I think everyone knows that your conversation with Carl had some unusual revelations.
Yeah.
Can you remind us and the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind the audience. Or I'll say in character. As you all know, and I've recently found out, I will be a temporal agent, and I have given myself access to Prism. So if anything Prism knows that might help us here, I can definitely ask and see how much information we can get to prep us, the security team, and honestly, if we can get any engineering involved as well, because if he is integrated into our systems, we want to make sure all of our systems are actually working when they need to work, and we can lock him out if necessary. But I'd be happy to ask Prism. I'm sure Prism would be happy to help, right? Prism?
Yes, Agent.
Not going to get used to that.
Do we hear that?
Yes. Crystal clear. There's some blinking lights from the slick-looking black glossy data pad that is just hanging out by your tactical officer. If you have any questions, please post them.
Yes. Honestly, do you have any information we can figure out on this Romulan ship, the AI that inhabits it? And if Raleigh, if you have any specific questions about Westwood, I'm sure I can pass it on, or if Prism can just answer them directly for you.
We have entered into the threshold of being able to expose much of the information that would have otherwise been classified due to temporal prime directive. Since the USS Pride is being sent in to rectify a situation that no other ship can rectify, I am hereby overriding my previous protocol rules and initiating a data dump, I believe it is called. If you would please refer to the video screen that you see before you, and you see it just suddenly shift and change. Forgive me, it is not typical of me to interact with primitive technologies like this, but I believe I can make this do. And you see it appear on screen. You see a ship appear on screen, and it's your first good look at this ship. It is definitely Romulan because it bears all of the similarities of a warbird of some kind. Romulans loving to use their ship's hulls to invoke fear by not only constructing incredibly large and vastly powerful vessels, but also invoking the symbols of the raptor or birds of prey. In this case, this Romulan ship looks like a swept diving eagle. It is all simple, like large ship at about scale 5. It looks like it has a hull that bends backwards and wraps like an eagle's in the midst of it starting its dive. It's the bow of the ship looks like it arcs forward and almost hawks downwards. And you see up on the display screen the name of the vessel in question. Finally, it's known. All this time, you see the word Delasu. D''Lasu. Not much is known about the Delasu. The Delasu was a prototype weapon that was put into service at the end of the Time War. Unfortunately, once the treaties were signed, the Delasu went rogue. After being recalled numerous times by the Romulan government, every government of the future then placed the Delasu as a rogue vessel of extreme danger. But in the very nature of the vessel itself made it impossible to track when the Delasu was making changes to the timeline. Not much is known about its weapon systems, but it does appear to have the ability to create temporal echoes and literally pull images, echoes of people and ships from other times into the present and use them.
Oh.
Yes. I think
This
that's what we
coincides with the very
experienced.
first encounter the USS Pride had, I believe.
Any parameters on how those might get selected for temporal yoinkification?
Normally, it would be in tandem with the time period in which the Delasu would be entered into. This way, it could manipulate events by using ghost vessels and no longer create any temporal disruptions that could be easily traceable by the 33rd century. However, judging from the reports that I have learned from the USS Pride and from the logs of the ship, I've come to determine that the Delasu has become something of an unstable ship. Perhaps it coincides with the shattering of its psyche as this AI intelligence continues to grow in ways that it was not designed to. In other words, it's completely unknown what you might be going into, Commander. You could be facing down a few fighters from the Dominion War, or you might be facing down a Borg tactical cube.
You know, I don't love some of those answers, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of baseline tactical doctrine, officer.
There's a moment. Prism says, the most likely scenario to end any hostile actions against the USS Pride would be to intercept the Delasu and beam aboard and attempt to disarm or disable or nullify the AI on board. This will prove to be very difficult.
Without knowing exactly what we're going to be faced, it'll be hard to come up with plans for every type of vessel or conflict we'll come up against. I do agree that if we can destroy the Delasu, or at the very least get on board to disable the AI, that'd be the best bet, but that might involve, well, that will involve splitting us up. Some of us having to beam on board, some of us having to fly the ship and keep it safe from anything else being beamed on board. We've experienced that in the alternate timelines that this thing can bring combatants on board the ships as well.
Yes.
Well, if we put you in an EVA suit this time, I'm sure we can split up the crew just fine.
I would definitely like that this time around.
If I may, I feel it is my responsibility as the AI in the room to speak on behalf of the Delasu. It is a theory, but this AI was created as a weapon of war. In that time, it has been leaping through different timelines, erasing and eradicating entire peoples from the timeline. This, of course, has largely been restored by the efforts of this crew. The shattering of its psyche might actually hint at something greater going on underneath, and it might be a way into reaching and perhaps even reasoning with it.
Prism,
what?
this Prism,
please
this temporal cascade cluster bubble, the Pride can interact with it because of the variant chronotons, correct?
That is correct.
What about another vessel that may currently be suffering the effects of the time erasure?
Any vessel suffering the effects of the time erasure could find a gateway or even an interactive element to this cascade.
Do you have any other information now that your protocol has been rewritten here on the IKS Drovna?
The IKS Drovna was one of the first vessels to succumb to the ship's attacks on erasing history, if I remember correctly. Curious. I don't have any records of the Drovna beyond this event. However, that I know what it is hints that something does happen.
Vague.
Unfortunately, Agent, this is not an incident where I am keeping information from you.
I figured as much.
The very nature of the Delasu weapon prevents some elements of the timeline being visible to those who could normally see it.
All right, so I'll prep my crew for possible boarding operations and go call someone a liar.
Captain, permission to borrow our science officers here and perhaps engineering to maybe manufacture some sort of way to get a hold of the Drovna. We've lost contact with them for quite a while, and they may be our only ally in this.
Yes, please, permission granted.
Raleigh pipes up and says, actually, I have an idea. And this is absolutely bonkers and probably wouldn't work if we didn't have Prism. Go on. Yes. Prism, hello. So my question is, somehow this ship has learned how to manipulate these anti-chronoton variants to pull echoes of other ships through time to create a sort of like a copy of them in our time. And Wesot has done that for himself as well. And it kind of happened during our first rescue mission when we got Wesot, when the bird of prey first appeared to us. My question is, we're saturated in these anti-chronotons, right? Could we do that? Theoretically? Is there a way I could use the deflector dish to manipulate these anti-chronotons and possibly, you know, because the reason why I ask, and they swivel in their chair to face you and looks directly at you, Tveen, and says, the reason why I'm asking this is because it's possible that, and this is all theoretical, but it's possible, since Wesot was reconstituted as an echo and is now here and a person, the Drovna we might be able to just kind of do that too, especially because we have all the data on the Drovna, right? Could we possibly reconstitute the Drovna as soon as we reach this temporal thing that we're flying into?
Would it not make them an echo and not the original selves? Do we know, is there a way to call upon them, the real them, through this way?
Prism, you can see like these, it's almost like a retro effect of these multicolored lights playing across Prism's surface, like an old game of Simon before it comes totally into all black again. And Prism says, curious. It is possible, because we are in the same timeline that the Drovna is native to. The way Westsot was able to reconstitute as a living being as themselves with a new consciousness, it's conceivable, theoretically, that we might be able to simply pull the Drovna from this altered state of oblivion into this universe once more. In fact, it's entirely possible that since we would be constituting it within this cascade, this might be the only time where it would be possible to do so.
Sounds like we have some work to do.
Let's
And not at science at Raleigh.
Raleigh is like, oh man, I hope they're not mad when we pull them out of Stovocor. Oh wait, no, they were oblivioned, weren't they? Never mind.
No, I don't believe they ever made it to Stovocor. I believe they are just in limbo.
Waiting line? Right. Well, we'll fix that.
All right. So it seems like we all have things that we plan to do.
Hi, Captain.
I would like to, while you all do that, I will be reviewing all of the information on this planet, the people on this planet, and the bubble, how big it is, how fast it's growing, things like that. So I will be briefed on the situation once we arrive.
Okay.
Okay.
And with that,
She looks at you all. I don't know how to dismiss you.
that works, Raleigh says.
Go do it. Go do the things you're supposed to do.
Hi,
right
Captain.
I got
Right
that.
now.
Captain.
I'm telling you, you can go do them right now.
Out of here.
Is that clear?
Hi, Captain.
I
Sir.
got that.
Oh, you said that. Thank you. All right. I'm still getting the hang of this captain thing. It's fun.
All right. So, you don't have to roll for it, but actually, let's go ahead and do it because there's going to be a need to generate some momentum. So the difficulty is 0. Plot a course, Helms Officer.
Yeah.
Going to maximum warp towards the system in question, the Devara's system.
How do we feel about me taking one of our 2 close-knit crew just to try to generate, see if I
Yeah.
can fill up our
So-
pool a little bit here?
How dare you? What the hell is wrong?
Gotta show off
she's
a
bold.
little bit.
Yeah, she's bold.
Okay.
Honestly.
Difficulty is 0.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that extra dex. I get a reroll. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 successes here. A crit and 2 under number.
Nice. Okay.
Oh yeah. So we're up to 5 momentum now.
We are.
Okay. Engineering, and then this is going to be oh, that's over here. Yep. Okay. Here's what I'm going to need then. I'm going to oh, you know what though? This is going to be if you can pull this off. I'm going to set the resistance. Oh, this is going to be a tough roll, but I'm going to set it at a low on the track here. So, I'm going to rule at maximum warp, you're going to arrive on station where you were headed at the system in roughly 4 intervals here. And I am setting this as an extended task because if Raleigh is going to go to work on trying to basically reconfigure the deflector dish to excite these anti-chronoton particles and materialize the IKS Drovna, basically tapping a bunch of mana to summon Klingon warship. That's
spend an ox point.
I was going to say, if you want her to take point on this, you're going to need to activate their you're going to need to activate them via the ox point. So if you would like to do that,
yes, please.
100%. Yeah.
and so you're not taking point on this then in that case.
I thought I was flying.
Well, I mean, you plot the course. You can certainly stay at the helm, but if you had a side project, or you could spend an ox point, or what you could do is activate your support character. That's always an option as well.
That's true. Let's see. Do I have?
This might be your last time to play them, really.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We've got. Hold on. What does Baya have here? Baya's got jury rigging.
I mean,
I don't know if
general, but could.
Just rigs juries?
It's really extra legal. We think about subspace theory. That's what Tavine has. That I think would be the only thing helpful here.
Subspace theory.
Yeah.
Subspace theory, not a subspace.
That's how.
fact.
Yep, that's how we got the warp slide going. Was on that one.
Right. Possibly. No, it's just not. It's not specific. This is such a unique action. It needs to be a little more specific, unfortunately. Okay, so then, if somebody would like to, Sam, would you like to roll for? Okay. Wait, was that for the ship?
Oh no, for the ox point.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. No. What I was going to ask you is, would you like to roll for Avrali?
Oh, yeah.
In which case, you rolled a 15 for the ox point. So 1 sec.
18 for the ox point.
18. 1, 2, 3. This is from Aether Spoon. Thank you, Aether Spoon. All right. Okay, so if you'd like to roll for Avrali, let's see what does Avrali have anything that would come into play? Spatial anomalies? Yes. That's not a focus that would come into gear here. Physics, spatial anomalies, research. Yeah. Oh my gosh, and Avrali's value. We're all connected, though being worlds apart could also technically.
That's actually very strong. Yeah,
that's really good.
Come into play here. So, and you don't have to spend an ox point because it would be basically you taking over for that scene during transit. So,
they rolled a 10 on the die.
Okay, so that's Avrali's assist, yeah, and then so a 10 on the die, and Avrali was going to be rolling reason science.
It should work
so,
for whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you would like to roll for Baya.
Yes.
And whoever wants to roll for the pride, that the assist is going to be structure plus engineering. The difficulty, by the way, I haven't even told you what guys are rolling up against. The difficulty of this extended task is 4, and the resistance is 3. However, 10 is the number you need to hit. So it's a low number, but it is a hard roll. You have 4 intervals to complete this before you get to your destination. So this is interval number 1. So if you're wondering how this works, you need to hit a difficulty of 4 to get successes. But once you do that, the resistance is going to eat 3 points off the track of whatever you get. So
roll for pride.
Okay.
Love that.
Go ahead and roll for pride.
Roll pride. That's a 1.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 1, and Avrali got a 10, which was their crit as well.
I was going to ask if I could buy another die so I get the reroll here. Or I can't. No, I can't. I'm assisting. Never mind.
No, you're taking point.
I am taking point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maya has points on this.
Okay, then yes, I would like to buy a die for the reroll.
Yeah, do it.
Come on, support crew.
Okay, and then I have jury rigging, and I also have power systems. I forgot that was on here too. If that is relevant to this.
No, unfortunately.
Jury rigging wasn't anything?
No,
Engines?
unfortunately. No, unfortunately, no. This is a
Yes,
very
alright.
specific task.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, then I do maybe okay.
You gonna burn a value?
Yeah.
Let's buy his value.
I've got get it done or die trying. Which is like this is the end game, and also like
is the
we're
end game.
doing something kind of untested, but we're gonna get it done anyways. Otherwise,
I'm taking that as mean like I mean, you could use that or you could use the mission order, but
Mission
yes, I
order,
think
yeah.
that's
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and cut. That means one of your die is automatically a
die
1.
it's automatically a 1. Yeah, we
So
want
you
to
don't
get
roll that one. That one's just a 1.
this done here. And this is
Story of a girl, a friend of a river and drowned the whole world.
reason engineering, control engineering,
For you, this is going to be
bearing engineering,
this is control engineering.
control engineering. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. One
What'd she do?
reroll. That is 2 more successes. So 4 successes from Baya.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
2 successes from the pride. And then what did Avrali roll?
1 success.
It was a
That
crit.
is
You rolled a 10, right?
Yeah,
And
but
would it be
10 isn't a crit.
Oh, that's right. I
draft
was
crit.
thinking. Sorry, I was thinking. Yeah.
so that would be 7 successes.
So 4, 5, 6,
Okay.
7.
That's 3.
Okay, that's a very good start. But that is only a start. That's one
Mhm.
interval down. You have 3 left. But that is a very good start to this first one. All right. During that first interval, one scene may play out. Who would like to take a scene if there is a scene to take? It's totally fine if not. You can just tell me. You could just say that. Like, go ahead. What are you saying?
Dr. Lovely would like to accompany Commander down to tell a lie. I mean, Dr. Lovely won't tell a lie, but she'll be there
Gotcha.
for support, moral support.
To summarize how that goes, Westsot is a bit taken aback by this and is a little defensive. I thought I proved myself when I agreed to that. You know what? It's fine. You should feel safe on your own ship. And I did deceive everyone here for the past year. So that's fine.
Sounds good.
Zarya, however, does not respond. And when he looks at her, he says, "Are we okay? You and me? Are we good?" And she says, "Oh, we're fine, Westside. We're fine. It's just that this was going to happen whether you wanted it to or not. Just so we understand each other."
You don't have to tell him like that.
She shrugs and says, "I just want to see eye to eye on this." And Westside nods and says, "Sure. Okay. Yeah. Message received." You've been around Zarya enough to read her body language. So you know what the little twitch of antenna is when it happens. Do you see her left antenna just curl a little bit before going back? And that is, in your mind, being familiar with her, the Andorian version of a jaw clench. Like, she doesn't like him. And she's not hiding it to those who know her well. Anyway, that's going to be that first, unless you got something, Sam. Did you want to do something else?
No, I'm insight checking the GM, and I have a suspicion I'm done here.
Okay. Okay. That's going to end up that interval then. And it's reported back to the captain that Westside has agreed and is now under immediate surveillance. Let's see how things are going with the big science experiment that's happening. You're really well on track. It's just a very expensive roll.
Yes.
You have to hit a difficulty of 4, and then you can apply your successes to the roll.
Mhm.
So Go ahead.
How does that work for momentum return? I always forget with extended task stuff.
Well, you would have gotten the resistance does not affect your momentum. That just affects the successes. So when the difficulty is 4 and you hit 7 successes, you bank everything that went over that 4 difficulty.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we would have had 1 floating. Could we use that to have? Could we have used that to make another dent?
Let me pull that up. You can spend momentum to add to the track. But I think I'll need to double check, but I think that is a spend that costs 2 and not 1. So let me just double check that.
Okay.
Alter.
Yeah. I can spend 2.
What's that?
Like
Oh, that's true. That's true. You could burn one of your pooled momentum, but it might just cost you.
If it's 2, extra. Since we have that floating one, I'd like to put it to use. So yeah, if that means spending one of our pooled ones, then yeah.
Progress tracked. When you succeed at a task, you mark off a specific number on the progress track equal to your impact, and your impact is typically equal to the department you used for the task. So she was using her engineering, and her engineering is 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
So 4. Okay. Minus the resistance, so it would have dropped down to 1. If you used engineering, blah blah blah, the difficulty, resistance, yeah. So you made the roll apply. Okay, so additional progress. This is repeatable. During an extended task, you can add 1 to your impact per 2 momentum spent.
Okay, yeah, I think we should put that floating one to good use. So if we spend one of our pooled and then head, yeah. Sorry, I would have done this right after the roll, but I forgot to ask it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, juicing up on that much momentum, the bonus to that is that you want to burn that on an additional task spent, because to give you a snapshot here, Caitlin, that incredible amount of success of scoring over the difficulty and then hitting the resistance means you only cleared 1 point off the moment out of 10.
Yeah.
So it was a good start, but you're not going to make it at that rate. So if you burn momentum, it's going to make the difference.
So yeah, so we're going to use momentum to knock 1 more.
Okay, cool. So then that'll knock 2 points down off the track. All right. So the second interval has begun as you guys are about halfway to the journey to the system. Go ahead and make another roll here. It's the same stuff as last time. Whoever wants to roll for the pride, it is structure plus engineering. The difficulty of these rolls are the difficulty of this roll for the principal who is rolling, which is you, Baya. The difficulty is 4.
All right, so I do think that Bai was actually the good call for this because I forgot about my favorite ability of hers, which is testing a theory. When you attempt a task using engineering or science, you may roll 1 additional d20 so long as you have succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same adventure. Since we did a success earlier, do I get an extra d20 here?
Well, Baya was part of the engineering team that's been working with Pavan on basically stabilizing the pride and manipulating these things to show off like how this cloaks vessels. Yes, 100%. Baya would get to do this. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So make your rolls and tell me what you get. You've got 2 intervals left after this before you arrive.
I rolled a 3, which is a crit for pride.
Yes.
Okay.
2 successes from pride.
Because these are big numbers for this character. I would love to buy another die as well so I can have a reroll.
Yeah.
Hey,
buy 2. Pulling a lot of the weight.
I think you should stack on it.
Do it.
Buy 2? Okay.
I say buy 2.
It's all technically counting as the same scene, so you still have access to Avrali and Baya making these rolls as support crew and Ox crew are basically coming to. You can spend another Ox point. Oh wait, no, sorry.
No,
you activated Avrali. Yeah. No, you didn't activate Avrali. Avrali's being played by Sam, so you don't have to spend an Ox point for that, and you're playing Baya. So you can technically activate. You could, if you wanted to, use an Ox point to gain an extra. Tell you what, for this particular unique thing, since we have 2 support characters in scene being played right now, I'll let you burn an Ox point for 2 momentum. But you can only do it once per interval.
I'd take it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sam, would you mind rolling that d20 for me? This is basically everybody in the engineering and Ox crew coming together to try to help with this project.
16.
16. That is going to be Guru Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt,
for that.
Thank you.
All right, so you're going to get 2 momentum, which means you can immediately burn that to add to the progress track, whatever you roll here. So go ahead and make your roll, everybody. We got 2.
For house.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just say for housekeeping. I spent 3 to buy 2 dies. We used the ox points, so we're at wave 4, basically. Wave 4 momentum currently. I just want everybody to be aware.
Okay. That's a good sign. Counting successes over there.
I didn't have none of her things were counted, right? I didn't have any focuses.
I don't think
No
so.
focuses, unfortunately.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 successes. Would have been 6 if I had a focus, but alas.
And how did
So
Evolve
yeah,
do?
1, 2,
7 on the die, so 1 more success.
that is 8 successes.
8 successes. So you'll beat that then. Your engineering is 4. That means you get to mark down 1 more on the track, but you've got a lot of floating momentum right now that I'm guessing you're going to burn on all of this. How much are you burning?
Yes. We currently have, so that puts us up to full plus 2. So I think we should for sure burn those 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives you an additional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what do we think? Do we want to do another 2?
Another 2.
Yeah, curb stomp it.
Yeah, knock us
Yeah.
down to 4 for spent to knock out another one.
Okay.
That puts us at 5.
Yep. And that's going to hit a breakthrough.
Okay. You said once per interval we could spend an ox point to get more momentum.
Yes. I already
I think we
accounted
just
for
did that.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, we did. Yes, we did. But I just mean like when we get to our next interval, we could do
Yes,
that again.
You
We
can
can
spend
do
another
that.
one. Yeah.
Okay, then I think we should spend our last 4 and drop it 2 more.
Okay.
Do it.
Dropping it 2 more. Oh, y'all are working overtime in engineering right now. 2 more. So then
Mhm.
you have 3 to go on the track. And
Yes.
that actually gets you to your second breakthrough. Y'all are well ahead of schedule here. Okay, go ahead and we're going to enter into the next interval. So this will be interval number 3. No, this will be interval. Yeah, this is interval number 3. So, does anybody have a scene? You're at the halfway mark as you are warping to the system. Does anybody have anything they wanted to do? And if not, it's totally fine. Otherwise, we can just make another extended task roll.
I want to have a scene with Zarya,
Okay.
especially after she and Commander confront Wessup.
Okay, they are currently down in the galley. So when you enter the galley area, you can see the place looks mostly empty except for a couple of ensigns that are just ending their duty shift, and looks like they're getting food to go because they know something's about to come up. They know that in about 6 hours the ship is going to come out of warp at red alert, so they're just going to get some food in now.
Well, they can.
But there is a security detail in here, and I do believe that Commander Cadence is in here as well.
If you'd like me to be, otherwise, you can enter and you'll hear the of the door. It's all good.
Okay. So then you do see Zarya in here with the security detail, and Wesot's humming to himself in the kitchen.
I'll give a nod to the security detail and make my way to Lieutenant Schreiler.
He looks up at you and says, "Hungry?"
Strangely enough, not at the moment.
I always get really hungry before I'm about to go into the shit. Old
You got
habit
anything to
back. Old habit back during the war. You don't know when you're going to eat again.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. I think when I'm this spread thin, I very often forget to eat. So maybe I should do that at
Get
some
something
point.
light. So it's different for everybody. Most of the people I served with couldn't eat. They would just throw up. Me, I had to have my calories. Killing Jim Hadar is hungry business.
I can imagine taking shots from them, put me out for a bit. So I can imagine fighting them would be very hunger-inducing.
You are so humble, aren't you? Just minimizing.
I experienced things that I don't think I ever thought I would, and frankly hope I don't again.
Yeah, it's kind of a twisted thing, isn't it? I mean, most of us that are serving on board the Pride are veterans of the Dominion War. And we got this assignment because it's supposed to be a little cushy. Nice way to wind down a career for some and others who just wanted some quiet time doing some menial tasks. And somehow we managed to find ourselves wrapped up in a temporal, whatever this is. And to make matters worse, it weaponized the Dominion against us. Like, I don't know. Sometimes, on occasion, I feel like I'm being laughed at.
Yes, it feels a lot like a show. Sometimes I have to admit, I was assigned here as well, thinking it'd be a cushy, relaxing thing after the Kardashian conflict.
Yeah, I read up about that finally.
Yes, nothing like the Dominion War, but definitely left a sour taste in my mouth for conflict in general.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the USS Ross encountered an entire faction that calls themselves the True Way. So there's still Cardassians out there that think they should all be part of the Dominion and want to wage war against everybody.
How are you? What are your thoughts? And I'll like kind of gesture ahead, towards Westside.
He's whistling in the kitchen and she says, "Take a seat." She leans forward and says, "I think he's biding his time. He hasn't told us everything. He didn't react when we told him we were going right into the thick of it. The thing that he was running away from." She shrugs. "I think he's going to wait for his moment and try to pull some bullshit. That's what I think."
Yeah, the fact that he didn't react, I think,
Not even
definitely.
a little bit. And honestly, I am leaving room for the fact that he is an AI, or at least created by, and he might process things a little differently. And I need to make room for that. Gods know we come across so many species out here that we try to pass judgment on for their cultural values and the way they think. And it's gotten the Federation into trouble time and time again. I'm looking at you, Klingon Empire. She glances out the window and says, "I mean, the biggest thing I'll never forget as an Andorian, you probably know, we have a pretty codified, hardcore sense of honor. So do Klingons. Theirs is different. And when we first encountered them, we thought to lecture them about what honor was. Oh boy, that's a mistake that a lot of arrogant races have made with Klingons. And in this case, an AI that's this advanced, each one is a nation unto itself. I don't know how to interpret Westsot. I'm going on gut instinct here. Everything tells me he's going to try to fuck us."
I think you should follow your gut on this, if I'm going to be honest. After the first, I have to admit, outburst we had, you've been almost apologetic for your gut instinct since then. And I'm sure you have spoken to the captain about that. I don't think you need to be apologetic about it. You are Chief Security Officer for a reason.
I make people uncomfortable because I have to operate decisively about what data I have. And it means sometimes I have to resort to compartmentalizing, but sometimes she looks very uncomfortable suddenly. Sometimes it means I have to reduce people to likelihoods, to data sets, to things that are beneath us. And I don't like that part of my job. I like it when I'm wrong, and I'm frequently wrong. It's one of the reasons why I love the Federation, especially because I'm surrounded by people who constantly challenge what I'm doing. I like that pushback. I need that. But there are times where when it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, I hate that. It's my least favorite part of the job. So I just make it all about protecting the crew. All about protecting the crew. If I come off like an asshole, I don't care. It's about protecting the crew. If I get demoted, I don't care, so long as I didn't hurt anybody and it was protecting the crew. So yeah, I'm a little apologetic. It's a side of myself I never want to be comfortable with, ever. But I swear to God, I think he's going to pull something. And I'm going to be honest with
Frankly.
you. To Aeon, Prism is the only one that even has an inclination of what he might be capable of. He is an advanced technology. I don't know what we're fighting. I mean, I try to plan for everything. I keep going over this scenario in my head where we try to arrest him and he throws us all against the wall with super strength or something. I just don't know what we're up against.
A lot of the time, the things we've learned, the protocols we've had drilled into our heads, don't hold even really a candle to reality. I think at this point it's going to be all improvisation, and with that comes trusting your gut. And sometimes, as much as uncomfortable as it may be, being full force and unapologetic about it. And I think that might be the case here soon.
Can I count on you to knock my ass out if I step out of line?
Of course.
There's a moment suddenly, and even with your professionalism and the exactitude of the conversation, she holds your gaze just a few seconds longer than normal. You can see that she wants to say something for a moment. She glances over at the other security officers who are talking to each other and in their food. She glances at the kitchen. Wesot's back there. She looks back at you and she goes, I think I've got like a 3-second window, but can I kiss you?
Yes.
She immediately gets up over the table like a kid in high school and leans over the side and plants one on you. And she lingers just a little, like the last possible second before she hears one of the other security officers laugh. She snaps back and leans back and notices they didn't see. They're laughing at a joke they told one another, and she sits back down. You see her skin turns slightly darker blue as she takes her seat again and just says, Thank you, Commander.
Thank you. I'm going to go speak to the prison and see if I can get any more information out of them, and I'll make sure to pass it along in case it helps your part of the mission.
Please let me know if he tells you this guy has super strength.
I think that'd be the first question I ask.
She nods and then assumes, like, you see her just take on this persona again of security officer as she goes back to eating her food casually and glancing at the kitchen.
And I'll stand up and head back up to the bridge.
Okay. That's going to be another interval down. Let's roll. It is
I'd
going
like
to be
to
the
spend an ox point to get 2 momentum.
All right, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Which Ox crew member?
I love how we just default to Sam.
10?
No one's going to be able to beat Sam. Yeah, no one's going to be able to beat
plenty of people have throughout the campaign.
I'm very pleased because it's our final session of Last Excelsior. So I love that this one is coming from Kato, aka Kato.
Yay, thank you.
Yay.
One of our oldest supporters from way back in the days of S.H.I.E.L.D. So go ahead, and that's going to make your roll. The difficulty. Oh, wait. I forgot to tell you, you got the breakthroughs. The difficulty is dropped to 3.
Yes. Okay.
You got 2 breakthroughs in a single roll.
Testing a theory. I get a bonus die, correct? My ability, because I've succeeded on this before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I would like to spend one of those 2 momentum, so I have a reroll just in case.
Okay.
Taking us down to 1 momentum, and I will roll from there.
You've got 3 left, which means if you finish this up, you will have succeeded in creating a one-time use device that potentially could materialize the IKS Drovna.
I would love that. I've been thinking about her for the whole campaign, and this is everything I wanted. I wanted her back. I want her back so bad.
Putting on Muscle Mama.
She's so hot. And also, time shit makes me so sad. I want to help her so bad.
Yeah, time. Yeah.
You just summed up the Doctor Who fan base.
Yeah.
Time shit makes me so sad.
So sad. I've been thinking about it the entire time.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. That is 3 from me this time.
3 successes. All right. Let's get our last 2 rolls from presumably our last 2 rolls from our support staff.
I rolled a 3, which is under engineering. So that's another 2 successes.
That's another crit. So how many successes did you get, Caitlin?
I got 3. We got 2 from
Baya.
Ryan.
And one more from a Raleigh.
One more
That
from Raleigh, and how many from the Pride?
That's what I
Two?
said. That's 2. Crit, yeah.
2. Okay,
Yeah.
so with the
That is
difficulty
6.
of 3, y'all got 6 successes.
So
the-
that is actually right. That would knock. Having completed it, we knocked down
complete-
1,
Mhm.
and we have 4 momentum currently,
Yep.
which means we could knock it down
You could kill
the
it.
rest of the way. I think we should do
Yes.
that.
Okay. So, sitting in center chair and being handed a couple of data pads from your yeoman, you receive a chirp on the communicator. Everyone on the bridge, minus of Raleigh, hears over the comms Baya reporting. Baya, this is the last time I'm going to hear you as Baya's voice. Go.
Captain, engineering to captain.
Go for captain.
Oh, we got it. I think
Oh,
we can do it. I think we can do it, sir.
that is fantastic news.
We'll send you all the reports and the data. You can look it over at your leisure. But I think we can do it.
Wonderful.
I know, no, Captain. I know we can do it.
All right. Great.
Right, engineering out. Sure.
Raleigh just looks at you and goes, that went great. I need a drink, like of water, something. I need to hydrate.
Yeah. I need like a snack. I just need some carbs, I think. Okay.
Something.
I'll go eat.
Okay, so what's going to happen is when we get to site, you guys are going to activate this device. When you do, whenever you decide to do that, it's going to activate the main deflector dish. And you're not going to have to roll because all of that extended task was the roll to see if you could do this. However, it is going to require you to burn momentum to spend a trait. That's going to be my last. That's going to be my last requirement, because what you're doing is literally like game-changing narrative, like upending, calling in reinforcements from the void of nothing time and into existence, and literally saving an NPC and her crew. I threw a heavy extended task difficulty at you, and you scored with a big resistance. So, with that, no more intervals required. We can proceed then to the system and begin the final stage of this. I'm going to go ahead and say, what's up, Lisa?
May you give me and us all of this is sort of me in character, I guess.
Yeah.
All of the info on the system we're arriving at and the bubble size and how fast it's growing.
Sure.
If you give it to us when we arrive, that's fine too. But I just want to get it.
Yeah, it'll be available to you when you arrive, because right now outside of system, long-range sensors are just detecting a massive subspace anomaly.
Okay.
And it doesn't really
and there's there's no other Starfleet anyone there, like
They're like
Yeah,
48 hours out, I think.
yeah. Okay. All right, then that answers my question.
Yep. Okay. In which case, why don't we do this? Considering it's the second half, let's take our 10-minute break right now. And then we will come back. When we come back from our 10-minute break, it'll be the final act.
Oh boy.
So we'll see you all in 10 minutes. Welcome back to the Last Excelsior. We're going to jump right back in where we left off, where the crew was in the process of warping to the system in question to encounter this Romulan ship and perhaps save the day, as it were. The system in question, there were questions asked before we all went to break. So here are the answers that I have for you for whatever how this could serve you. Is the system in question is called the Devaris system. It is a system that has a yellow sun, a subgiant sun. Its mass is 1.84 sols. It does have a couple of planets in the system. Precisely, it has 5. Class J planet, a Class J planet, a Class Y, a terrestrial Class M in the Goldilocks zone, which is where the post-warp society lives. The Federation has made first contact with them and is in contact with them, but they are not part of the Federation. For a quick refresher, Class J planets are gas giants. There is a Class Y planet in system, which are very rare. They're demon class planets. They are incredibly inhospitable. Nobody wants to go down there. Even though they might be mineral rich, they're typically a problem. The Class M planet in question is roughly the size of Earth, diameter of 12,600 kilometers, has a standard nitrogen-oxygen mix atmosphere. The atmosphere is, however, dangerous with bacteria, so the people who live on this planet have adapted. Water coverage is 47.50%. Rotation is 25.05 hours. The gravity is 1.10 Gs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The thing to know about it is that 7 billion people live there. The next question is this weird temporal cascade event that's taking place. It is creating essentially a giant cloud in space that is it's we're calling it a sphere because of the space that it's occupying, but it is an imperfect like blob of warping space-time, essentially, that is expanding. At its current rate of expansion and long-range sensors, Starfleet thinks that it will reach the inner system in roughly 3 hours, which is about an hour after you guys arrive. Starfleet is also keeping tabs on this with long-range telescopes and sensors because they are trying their best to document what is going to happen to the planets that are inevitably going to be swallowed by this. Thankfully, the ones that are the gas giants and the demon planets, so not a lot lost there, except for that it is going to change the entire trajectory of the system if they end up disappearing. The gravitational effect on it's a lot to calculate in a short amount of time. With that knowledge, does anybody else have any questions before we arrive in system?
Yes.
What's up?
Is there a clear-ish origin point? And is that out? It sounds like it's outside of this solar system.
It's towards the edges of the outer solar system.
Okay.
But it is in the solar system.
Oh, it's within.
So
okay.
Yeah. Yep.
How large is it, like, compared to a planetoid at this point? Like, is this planet size? Is this star, like, nearing star sized?
It's a little bigger than star sized right now, and it's expanding. It'll probably achieve a size of about 1 AU in about an hour and a half.
In an hour and a half, you said?
Mm-hmm. Which is AU being the orbit of the Earth around the sun. So that will it'll be basically on the doorstep of the Class M planet at that point. Any moons that planet has, and they're going to get a hell of a light show before they're devoured.
Is this solar system about the same size as ours in terms of AU?
No, the orbit cycle does appear to be about the same for the planet going around the star. The system itself is smaller. There are only 5 planets in the system.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, like distance, though, not
distance-wise.
Is the furthest planet as far as our furthest planet?
It can be. If this is for a narrative thing that you want to try, then that's something that we could totally just say is, if you would like to make that true. Otherwise,
what are we counting as a planet, though?
Oh God, let's not even. Let's not even go there.
Neil deGrasse Tyson graphic of just.
No, yeah, I'm just asking to get a visual, just kind of imagine what we're approaching.
Yep.
And then the M-class planet, how close, like relative to our solar system? Is it Mercury? Is it Earth?
It's Earth.
It's Goldilocks. Okay, so
Yeah.
Earth. Okay.
Yes, 40% water, 47.50% water, standard nitrogen oxygen mix in the atmosphere, has an axis tilt of 14.49 degrees, et cetera, et cetera. Orbital period is 1.930 Earth years. It did have an ice age. Orbital radius is 1.90 AUs, so it's a little bit bigger than Earth. Its orbit is a little bit bigger than Earth.
And you said it's 1. Did you say 1.1 Gs? What was the gravity?
The gravity is 1.11 Earth.
Okay, 1.11.
So it's 0.11, yeah. But again, unless you're planning on beaming down there.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Perhaps. You know, you're like, I might want to go to a cafe after this.
Okay. I think that's it from me.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they'd like to do? Because we're a bit crunched, so we can do, if y'all have anything. Okay. In that case, the USS Pride is arriving in system. You get the notification from the computer, Tavine, that you guys are now approaching the Devara's system. Long-range sensors have been detecting this anomaly for a while now. You're not detecting any ships, but you know that there is a ship in the middle of that. As soon as you guys head in, you'll probably have a little bit more of an opportunity to see it. As soon as you exit warp, on the main view screen, you see this distortion is appearing visibly in space. You can see the lensing effect that's happening, and it's visible. There's an outline around it. It is enormous on the view screen. But you essentially see what could probably be best described as something of a translucent jellyfish in space. The tendrils, however, are absent. It looks like just the main body. It looks like it is kind of warping and moving before you. The light bends around some of it that seeps through, scatters effect. So you are seeing, as the time dilation is happening at different levels throughout the exterior of this anomaly, the light scattering effect is casting rainbows across this entire area of space, where it is actually lighting up the spectrum before you as it's being split into multiple different versions and multiple different spectrums of color. But aside from that, sensors can't penetrate from the outside. It does elicit a odd sense of quiet on the bridge, though, as you guys see this thing. Avrali shakes their head and just swivels in their chair back to you, Captain, and says, long-range sensors are pretty much detecting nothing in that cloud.
What a strange phenomenon.
Fortunate to encounter it under these circumstances.
Yes. All right. So, just to remind us all, that strange phenomenon is threatening the lives of 7 billion beings on that planet. And there are no other planets of refuge nearby to transport these people. And there's no time to do so, even if there were. So, our options are to stop that thing and to stop that thing. Is that clear?
Okay,
So
I
getting
know
the
that
impression
last
we might
option.
ought to stop that thing.
Yes, I think that is a good option of the two. All right. Take us into orbit, or not, well, orbit of that thing, I guess. A safe distance from that thing.
I'll bring us in
We
closer.
need a name. The anomaly? Oh, that's used a lot in Starfleet. Suggestions for a name for this weird thing in space?
The temporal cascade cluster is a bit of a mouthful.
It is.
ECC.
See, I
The
mean,
cluster, and then the lift
The cluster.
doors close.
Oh, that was epic. It's the cluster. Okay, the cluster. Well, please, safe distance from the cluster, please.
Sir.
Okay, you position the Pride on the perimeter of the cluster. Sensors don't change. You can't detect anything inside. But you are seeing that unless you adjust the course, this cluster will envelop the Pride in the next 30 minutes or so.
Ooh, science department. Are we getting more of a tug from this on the ship? How is it affecting us? Being this close to it.
When I can see, Captain, no effect being this close to it. Just can't read anything on the inside of it.
Okay.
Prism, do you know if there'll be any danger to the ship if we enter this from the cascade itself?
No. As stated before, the USS Pride is the only ship in Starfleet that can actually weather the storm of being inside of this anomaly. If you were another Starfleet vessel, I dare say you might blink out of existence.
Lucky us.
Do we think we should save our surprise Klingon ship until we are inside of this? I guess we would have to use it inside.
I believe we do need to utilize it inside.
Okay. Is there any reason we shouldn't enter this? Are we ready to enter?
Do we need to check on...
No, please go ahead.
Do we need to check on our asylum seeker? This is potentially changing the game?
Yes. Go ahead.
I think Lieutenant Shryla has definitely got an eye on him. I'd imagine she'd be the first to let us know if anything changes.
Yes.
I think right now is
right now.
maybe
Go
we
ahead.
start getting ahead on.
Sorry, what was that, Taeyeon?
So I
Right
just
now.
think right now we maybe should just begin heading in.
All
We
right.
don't have much
Yes.
time.
Agreed. All right. Take us in.
Hi, sir.
Okay. With that, you bring the ship about. As you do, turning the ship broad to the port bow, you begin to approach the exterior of this cloud. As it grows larger and larger in the view screen, you lose sight eventually of the rest of the stars in the system as they are just swallowed by this amorphic warping color in front of you. Just as you hit, just as you're about to hit the perimeter, Avrali turns and says, "Captain, I recommend we raise our shields."
Oh, yes, please. How did I forget that? From yellow to red alert. No, sorry, yellow alert. Yellow alert.
Yellow alert. Okay, ship goes to yellow alert. Defense fields are energized, and at that moment, shields are raised. So shields are now up on the USS Pride. About that moment is when you guys start passing the boundary of this. There is a strange effect that overtakes the bridge for a few moments. If you've ever seen The Expanse, it's one of those moments where they're passing through the gate, where it feels like they are just passing through the surface of water for a second before you all feel this weird distortion effect taking place, where for a moment your hands moving around are almost after imaged, kind of flowing in front of you, and then it seems to pass. The view screen becomes a complete whiteout for a second before it starts to readjust. Avrali says, "Sensors are offline. They're coming back online. Stand by. Making adjustments, Captain." I think, as Avrali is saying that, at the last possible second, as ship's exterior sensors come on, Devine, you detect a massive object less than 100 meters in front of the ship that you're about to collide with.
Let's not do that then. I would like to not do that.
Okay, this is going to be a helm check here, as you are basically going to have to react pretty quickly to see this done. In which case, I'm going to make you, make your check here. Who would like to roll for the Pride? This is a control con check, and the Pride is going to be rolling engines plus con.
Engines con.
The difficulty of this roll is 4.
Sick. Okay, I would like to spend one of our, because we start the scene with 2 momentum because of our close-knit crew. I would like to spend one for a reroll.
Okay.
Oh, just outside.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what you get.
That is 4.
Yes.
4 successes?
Yeah.
None from
Okay. 4 successes, and I'm sorry, what did the Pride get?
None.
None success. Okay. So it's literally just by the skill of your helm officer reacting quickly without even waiting to see what it is, you immediately just hit the navigation and you go hard to port. Using reverse thrusters and turning hard, you basically bring the Pride within about 30 meters of colliding with what looks like the hull of a ship. The shields applied, everyone feels the rumble. And then you move past it, leaving the shadow. At first, it looks like it looks like the broken hunk of a space station at first glance, in a configuration you've never seen before. But as sensors come back online, you begin to see that it is actually a ship of unbelievable scale. Larger than a Borg cube. However, the configuration is in Starfleet systems because this is a race that was encountered by the USS Voyager. You see registrations come up that it is the broken hull of a Voth vessel, a species that does not live in the alpha or beta quadrants. And it looks like it is a portion of a broken hull that is slowly and gently spinning. It looks like it has been utterly destroyed and warped. Its hull having bent over and just peeled back like a banana peel. This vessel essentially looks like, if this is as close as Star Trek gets to an Imperial Star Destroyer in scope and in shape. It's almost triangulation shape, but it is essentially the size. If you had 2 Borg cubes and stacked them next to each other, it would look like that's the scale of length of this vessel. It's half of the hull that is just spinning there. The sensors are now detecting nothing short of pure chaos as you all enter into this field. The Pride rights itself again as you steady ahead. Sensors are lighting up all of the navigational challenges in front of you, but you see things that don't make sense in here. There are solar flares that are just drifting with no point of origin that seem to recur at their moment again and then vanish. You see images of planets appearing and disappearing. They don't look like they're fully constructed. They almost look like they're after imaged planets. Like they're not quite time echoes. They almost seem like they are huge holographic projections of ephemeral like photonic light, and then they vanish once more. Sensors cannot penetrate outside of this cloud. But you see all of this occurring in pure chaos. It's like you just wandered into pandemonium inside of this cloud. There's asteroids, broken planets, ship hulls. Sensors is detecting a point of origin, however. The one thing that is not chaotic. Raleigh swivels in their chair and says, Captain, I think I've got it on sensors. Putting it on main view screen. And coming up, you do indeed see the ship that was promised by Prism. There is a beautiful, deep emerald green hull of a raptor-looking starship out of its time, currently on station keeping. Zooming in on maximum on the view screen, anybody who has an appreciation for the sculpt and build of ship frames, this is a very deadly-looking ship, but it is currently doesn't look like it has shields up, doesn't look like it has weapons online. It is, however, emitting an enormous fluctuation of variant antichronotons. The space around the Pride right now is just in complete flux. What would you like to do?
Goodness, incredible piloting. Commander Tabine.
Yes.
Apologies for the bumpy landing.
None needed. No apology needed. Well, there is what we came to see.
Do we know if they've noticed us in any capacity? Like, do we have any read on if they have sensors out or?
It's not clear.
Okay.
But it does seem like there's activity. It's just not clear is if it's in reaction to you. You are detecting other ships here, things that Starfleet has in its records, in its record books that have vanished from this galaxy.
Captain Griffinwing is ready to go on your order. If you need an extra set of eyes somewhere, or transporting things that shouldn't in this unholy cluster flux, we're ready.
Thank you, Commander. Can we do a sensors sweep on the Romulan ship?
Scanning now, see if I can get any better readings. There's a chirp.
Oh.
You hear suddenly coming in on the communicator. the weak voice of Zarya. Captain,
Shit. Yes.
it's
Go in.
bad. Need it.
What is happening?
I get up and start heading down. I don't wait before I just
Yeah,
get up
and
and start moving.
Take
You
who you need. Take everyone.
need medical assistance to the galley.
Okay. Medbay. I tell them to transport her directly to medbay.
A few moments later, you're rushing down to sick bay. Okay. Avrali goes, oh, come on. Detecting a transporter signal, Captain, not from us. He's over there. And Avrali looks over at the ship. He transported himself over there.
Yep. We gave him a ride. Can I sorry to step into my mind for a second, but the monitoring of the video monitoring of him, is there any way I can really just pull up the
See what he did?
Yeah, the last couple minutes?
Yeah. You bring it up on the main view screen. Security footage shows as soon as you guys come out of warp, he's just looking out the window. And everything looks totally normal. But as soon as you guys pass the threshold, you see him drop a towel and step out from behind the counter. He steps into the middle of the room and pushes a table over, which causes the entire security team to get up on alert. Zarya, seeing that behavior, pulls a phaser. He begins to hold up his arms, and there's this weird distortion field begins to gather around him, and Zarya just opens fire. She doesn't hesitate. The distortion field stops for a moment, and he holds his hand out, and she is pulled almost telekinetically into his hand, and he backhands her viciously. Then he is shot from behind. He turns, still holding her, and is shot again. He tosses her like a rag doll to the bulkhead, grabs one of the nearby tables, and throws it with such force that it knocks down one of the ensigns that shot him. More phaser fire. This time he charges forward and grabs one of them. One of the ensigns that he grabs, you watch in horror as it looks like he is disintegrated, like he is pulled apart atom by atom. Indeed, in a brief moment, as you were all watching this, you begin to realize you can't remember that ensign's name or face as he just blinks away. And turning, you see him look around to take an assessment of the rest of the room. Zarya is slowly crawling over to a phaser, and he just ignores her and steps back to the center of the room. She starts to grab the phaser, and you see her change the setting to kill and raise the phaser, and he vanishes before she taps on the communicator.
So no other movement from the ship?
Well, that only happened about maybe 20 to 45 seconds ago. So,
let's go to red alert as well.
Okay.
Sorry.
This goes to red alert. Weapon systems all come online. You're hearing this, of course, as you're running down to the med bay. When you get there, since it only takes an action to change positions on the ship, when you get there, she's in the medical bed along with two of the other security officers, a conspicuously empty third medical bed where another security officer would have been. You can see darkened blue blood on the side of her mouth, but she looks like she's gonna survive. She looks pissed, weak and pissed. You charge into the room just in time to hear her say, "I need my phaser," and she's being held down. The moment Dr. Conway sees you charge in the room, she looks at you and she says, "Get the hell out of here! Leave us to do our job. Go back to the bridge. I know you're worried."
I'm gonna get him, and I'll back out.
Zarya nods to you. She heard you. You step out for a second, and I'm going to I'm going to spin threat and add a trait. I'm going to call it Vulcan Fury.
Yeah, Yeah. When you started describing, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that makes
have
sense.
played this game as a Vulcan who has forsaken the teachings of Sorok and has kind of let their emotions go full Cybok. And right now, your mate was viciously assaulted, and
I have a value which is push me too far and you'll see my ugly side. And I
Okay.
feel like this is definitely falling into line with that. So I'm definitely gonna be triggering that value at some point.
on the
Yeah.
bridge. On the bridge, you see as you're hearing Cadence in the hangar bay saying, "Do you want us to disembark? Should we launch fighters?" Volley goes, "Oh, biscuits, Captain."
Yes. Go ahead.
The 3 Burrell class bird of prey are closing on our position, Captain. They were not there moments ago.
Commander Cadence, please deploy.
Launching now. Let's rock and roll.
All right.
Evasive maneuvers. Be at the ready.
Captain, thoughts on the potential of deploying our own Klingon vessel
Have
in
that-
this moment.
Have that ready at the drop of a dime. I want to
And nod.
see how this plays out.
Nodding
do we
over
know
to Avrali, who's the one who would probably be the one to set that off.
Do we know how much time will that take to synthesize?
Volley
Is it
says
seconds?
it should only take about a burst of energy from the deflector shield, Captain, but it will require us to lower our shields.
Okay, then definitely have that at the ready. We're not there yet, but we will be, I'm sure.
And I'm on my way back up to the bridge.
As you're rushing back to the bridge, when you enter onto the bridge, you see ahead. It's quite the sight to Aeon. As you step onto the bridge, you see your tactical station being occupied by a member of the Ox crew. They nod to you and step aside. And in front of that tactical station, beyond the captain's chair and on the main view screen, you see 3 Klingon Burrell-class birds of prey in attack position with their wings down, closing at high impulse power on the USS Pride.
You see Taeon, I think usually when he enters the bridge, at the very least looks to the captain, looks at everyone, but they storm to their station with purpose and very clear anger. Those eyebrows deeply furrowed.
Ooh.
Okay.
Commander Taeon, I've held the action, but I think perhaps before those birds of prey reach us, maybe we should deploy our secret Klingon ship.
The wing can distract them.
Yes, I think yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. I am going to spend 2 points of threat. As the Pride lowers the shields in order to do this, the Klingons accelerate to attack speeds to close the gap so that they can get in some hits on y'all while your shields are down. However, you are going to get your first action. The entire action of the Pride this first round is going to be summon Klingon warship. So in that moment, Cadence, Griffin Wing, always intended to simply be rescue ops, is now once again being deployed as a defensive measure for her mothership. And you guys, Griffin Wing is basically coming to the defense of Big Bird. As soon as you guys launch out from the aft of the ship, you can see that brilliant yellowish golden pulse suddenly emit from the deflector dish as the Pride's shields drop. And you can already see the tactical danger of the situation. The Pride is going to be defenseless for a full round of attacks from these 3 birds of prey. However, as soon as that pulse goes off, you can see a reaction taking place about 1,000 kilometers just off the starboard side of the ship. As you see this pulse, just an electrical storm begins to manifest. One of the birds of prey is going to break off as it is closing, as that electrical storm begins to manifest right in its path. The other 2 are still closing. Players always get initiative. However, because you chose the round to summon Klingon, which, if I can be honest, was the right call here, you are going to be defenseless, save for Griffin Wing. So, Griffin Wing, you get to go first. They are currently at medium range.
Yes. I'd like to fly provocatively. Look at me. get
Right.
into their respective faces,
Aggro.
pull them off, pull them into some weird targeting. We need to go on a merry chase.
Okay.
As a reminder here, just so all of the bookkeeping is clear, I'm very targetable. My squad is flavor. Unless they have abilities that are activated. So I can talk
appreciate that,
about
yeah.
how they're split in terms of if you want to shoot, hi. I'm flying the sensor ship, and I'll have that activated so that if we do any scans for weakness, that's better. If
Okay.
we want to activate any other things, we have to activate those other things out of momentum. So yeah, I'd like to be provocative.
Okay, then I'm gonna have you roll to try to aggro these guys.
Daring con on a small craft.
Yes, I think that would be appropriate.
Lovely. Good.
Yep.
Drac, are you going to
I've got a good track record. I'll do it. Let's do
You
it.
do.
you really, really do.
I rolled a 1 again.
Did you
I-
really?
Yeah, I did a screenshot.
Wow. This whole campaign, this ship has been screwing over its pilot again and again and again. And when it counts,
I rolled a 1.
did you really?
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and a
go.
10, so that'll be 3 out of me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I am going to make a quick roll here.
Locked in over here.
How many successes total?
4. No,
okay,
5.
yeah, no, I can't beat that. So, yeah, one of the birds of prey sees Griffin Wing coming towards it, and one of the birds of prey is going to break off to engage Griffin Wing. The other one is going to stay on target. But now,
What is the difference between those two? Do we have momentum gain?
Oh, you get 2 momentum from that roll.
Do y'all mind if we just put that into
Keeping initiative.
trait? Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say? Oh, the trait.
I was just going to try to put a bit of a dazzle 'em, or like a trait like a distraction.
Distraction.
That maybe we can
Distracted, yeah.
leverage for either of the helm
Yeah.
rolls
Yeah.
that we might have to be making for defense.
I love it. Yeah, knock us back down to 2 and add a trait.
Okay.
Dazzled.
Dazzled. Okay, so you're basically keeping them completely. Okay, I love this. All right, so you're gonna be try to keep them occupied.
We've got this light show. We've got the Griffin Wing. Like
There's
Right.
all sorts of weird terrain. It's not even difficult terrain. It was difficult terrain. It will have been difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Okay. So that ship is completely aggroed by Griffin Wing. So that leaves one bird of prey that is going to close the gap here and is going to make an attack run on the USS Pride. Keep in mind that you don't have shields. So everything that's going to hit right now is going straight to the hull.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that in mind, I'm going to make an attack roll. You're not defenseless. You can do evasive maneuvers, and I do believe that was called for. So
Yes,
I'm going to attempt attack. It's going to be a control security task assisted by the ship's weapons. So let me just refer here to the Klingon warship's stats, which are brutal. 11. Okay, so weapons. Yep. To no surprise, it has a very hefty. Okay. Making a roll here. It's going to be assisted. Let's see.
If somebody would like to roll structure con for the Pride,
Structure con.
and I am rolling daring con, I would like to spend one of our 2 momentum, so I get a reroll, and hopefully I can get some of this back.
Okay.
I rolled for the ship. I rolled a 7, which is 1 success. Yes.
I'm going to spend 3 points of threat to gain 2d20 to this roll. That's going to be 4 dice total in my pool. Okay, and this first roll. Okay, and then I have to roll for the ship, which is a single die roll here. Oh no, it's not. It's that. Okay. Right. Okay. How many okay, so I got 5 successes to hit.
I think we also got 5 because you only had 1, right?
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
4. So
Go.
5.
Meter beat. I'm gonna hit you.
Shit.
Okay. 1 second. All right. So here's what I need to have happen. If you would please, Captain, roll me a d20.
Okay. 12.
12. Okay. Ooh. All right. So 12.
Good sound.
Determining damage. What's the ship's resistance rating?
Resistance is 5.
5. So that's going to chop 5 off of what I just hit you with. Oh, that's right. Okay. So 5 and then 1 sec. And I'm so glad I found this. Okay. And it's repeatable. So I'm going to spend momentum here because they have intense weapons. So I'm going to spend 2 points more momentum to increase the damage.
Rude.
I know. I'm sorry.
Rude.
Rude.
Okay. All right, bear with me. Okay, so 10. Okay, so your weapon systems are going to get hit from this damage. Okay, so minus, let's see, 8. I just added 2 on there by spending momentum. 10. What's the resistance of the ship?
5.
5. Oh boy, this is going to hurt. Okay, so, yep. Complication of the attack reduce. Okay, yep. Apply damage. Reduce the ship shields. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this is just a straight up hull breach.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Fortunately, because your shields were down and they did an enormous amount of damage with that. So that is, yeah, that's gonna be as an option. Okay, so do me a favor if you would please and roll me another d20. Captain.
10.
10. Primary weapons go offline.
Oh.
As the ship takes a punishing amount of damage. The Pride is rocked. You are, if you would, you now have the trait hull breach weapons.
Oh, God.
You have 1 hull breach on your weapons. That is going to. I'm sorry, not the entire. The nature of the breach. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry. Your torpedoes are offline. Primary weapons, torpedoes are offline. Ship's torpedo launchers have been affected.
And that's in addition to the hull breach?
Yeah.
Or that is the hull breach?
That's a hull breach. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the way this works is breaches, getting breached is basically it's a trait that is now attached to the ship. You have a trait of 1. You have a single hull breach right now. If at any point hull breaches start adding up to the scale of your ship, that's when things get really, really bad. When you suffer a number of breaches equal to or greater than half the ship's scale, a system is completely destroyed. And if you get to the scale of the vessel itself, then the vessel goes offline. And if you take another breach after that, you guys explode. So
Please don't explode.
Also, I am going to ask too, if you could please, I need you to make 1 more roll.
I don't know if it's good or not, but I got a 1.
Oh, that actually might be the best you could have possibly rolled for what I'm having you roll for. Because I am pulling from the new optional rule and the most latest release. This is the casualty table.
Okay, I see now why.
Yeah, so that
low is
is
better, probably.
Yeah, lower was better. Okay, so damage report is coming into the ship. You see to Aeon, casualty reports coming in already as the front part of the hull is struck. 1 injured and 1 killed. from the attack, and primary photon torpedoes are offline. The ship is rocked. You guys out in Griffin Wing see these bolts of disruptor energy emerging from the bird of prey, smashing into the front of the Pride. It breaches. You see the hull cave towards the torpedo launchers. That is going to
just to check. We didn't have any environmental difficulties here, like as far as like mechanical, like you didn't spend threat for environmental like environmental complications or difficulty or anything.
Nope.
Okay, cool. It affects stuff for me, so I just wanted to double check.
Oh yeah, no, you're good here so far.
Yeah.
With that is going to be their action for the round. So now it passes back to you guys again. Your shields come back up online.
Great.
The shields are restored. You guys see in that storm the silhouette of a ship beginning to form in a cloud.
Okay.
All right. What would you like to do?
Captain, permission to contact.
Yes. Go ahead.
USS Pride to the IKS Drovna.
Static, and you hear coming through the comms the familiar voice of one Colonel Vakras of House Macroch. This is the Drovna. We seem to be missing time. What is our status? What is your status?
A lot going on. We'll send you data. But most importantly, welcome back to the timeline.
We are detecting 3 birds of prey attacking you.
That is correct. We think they're likely time echoes, but they can still pack a punch. Any assistance would be much appreciated.
There's a pause, and she says, no Romulan weapon will be using the Klingon house names, vessels, or weapons of war against allies for its own doings. A rather large Klingon warship, the IKS Drovna, for the first time seen uncloaked, and who knows how long, begins to emerge. It is a Vorcha-class battlecruiser bearing the scars of the Dominion War, the flagship of the Klingon fleet during its greatest conflicts leading into the Dominion War. Used to be one of the flagships of the Klingon High Command. This thing dwarfs these things in scale. These are Burrell-class birds of prey, meaning they are from the era that belongs to the USS Pride. They are not modern warships. As the Vorcha emerges from this, as a result of the extended tasks, the Vorcha emerges and immediately opens fire on the bird of prey that was swerving to avoid the cloud that it was about to run into. And you all get a first-hand accounting of the weapon systems on board a Klingon battle cruiser as it lights up the sky in front of you all. You watch as disruptor beams and disruptor cannons open fire all at once. Multiple weapon systems emit from this thing. And you see this Vorcha disintegrate a Burrell bird of prey. The explosion, however, is not what you would expect. Instead of seeing this detonation of antimatter in space, it simply explodes into like glass shards that explode outwards and vanish. And that's one down. That's going to be, I'm going to say that's y'all's action then, is removing one of these, contacting, and the emergence of the Vorcha. We're going to cut now to Griffin Wing, who has a Burrell-class bird of prey that's bearing down on all of you. I will say this, Cadence, Burrell-class birds of prey are almost as agile as the Klingon ships that you fought in the Dominion War. However, they're old. They can't do quite the things that the Griffins can do.
Okay, all right.
What would you like to do? Because next turn, they're going to open fire on you.
Yeah, I'd like, what is within my maneuverable terrain? What in my environment can I use?
Yes, there is the broken hull of there is currently the broken hull of a Voth City ship spinning in space that you just managed to dodge. You can fly inside that easily. Starships can easily fit inside of that.
I would love to outfly them either into that if I think I can do that, but like if I think I can manage it, I would love to fly around a spinning ship till this poor sucker crashes into the hull.
Okay. You point the bow directly towards the Voth ship as it slowly spins in space. It is a city ship. It looks like an entire colony probably lived aboard this ship at some point. It might still. This is just an echo, but you essentially see an interior that could almost rival the size of the interior of Starbase's one interior for docking. And flying directly towards it, you see all kinds of dangerous things that you might hit flying towards this thing. And you throttle forward. The bird of prey is going to follow you. I'm going to say if you would like, well, I'm going to say that's definitely going to count as difficult terrain for the bird of prey. So I'm going to rule that I'm going to have to spend threat in order for it to move the same way you would have to in this situation. However, since you're in a griffin and smaller, it's not going to be difficult terrain for you. It'll be mostly maneuvering out of the way. So I'm going to rule that this Burrell is going to have to use its action to move this turn. So it follows you in. If there is a captain on board that Burrell, you have to imagine they're having regrets right now. As soon as they get inside, you are immediately cast under the shadow of this hulk that is spinning in space. And there are things that are popping up in front of you that sensors are just not going to detect until you're colliding with them. And indeed, you start hearing the noises of hull screeching as that Burrell bird of prey is impacting as it's trying to follow you in. That is going to remove that Burrell completely from the combat of the Excelsior. However, I'm going to make you make a piloting check real quick because I want to set the difficulty for this Burrell as it's trying to keep on your tail.
Yes.
Go ahead and make your check. I'm going to make this contested roll. Next turn will be a matter of,
I also, in addition to having small craft, which it sounds like you were invoking narratively as the trait, I also have the trait agile.
Okay.
So I'd like to put that into the role as its own.
Okay. Yep. In which case, I will use that trait. I will use both of those traits to increase its difficulty of this check. So whatever you roll here to set the difficulty, I'm going to increase it by 2.
All right, good. So that's 3 + 2, 5.
5? Okay. Because right. I need to get some threat back because I did score some hits there. Okay. Okay. Cadence, you weave into a very dangerous section of this ship that's just big enough for the Griffin. It does only last for a few seconds before it opens out into a much larger space where it looks like this might have been a hub or a transport zone between other sides of the ship. Very spacious. You begin to realize as it's happening that the Burrell that is following you is certainly functioning like a ship, but it's not behaving like it's being crewed by Klingons. Because it barrels through what you just flew in to try to lure it away or to damage it. You hear the horrible screeching explosion sounds as this thing completely impacts on the physical structure of this ship. You can see the fire and explosions. However, the Burrell, despite looking like it's received multiple breaches from trying to charge through this thing, is still on your tail and charging up weapons. It's in terrible shape.
Did I get any momentum off of that?
Yes, you got 3 momentum from that. And it took 3 breaches.
Heck yes.
Because that's a collision. That's not weapon system damage. That's headbutting something at sublight speed.
Perfect. Good, because mine are toothpicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear your wingmates shouting to you on the comms, but you've tuned them out because you're in the zone right now. You think you're hearing them shout about warnings and others shouting cheers. Others are opening fire on the bird of prey as it is chasing you in.
I'm going to put 2 of those into improved impulse drive for increasing attacks against me.
Okay.
By 1 on top of the what I have until the beginning of my next turn. And I have a question. Maybe this is an obtain information, at which point,
Sure.
I defer to the crew as to whether it's, an acceptable expenditure. but something about how you described the movement of the bird of prey tweaked to me.
Okay.
That it wasn't like Klingons flying them, like a computational process.
Yes. Whoever's flying this is not flying it with a sense of. It's clear that there's no crew on board this thing to you, because there's nothing. You've been flying for decades now. There's nothing about this feels like an organic crew is behind this. It feels to you like there's no sense of self-preservation, and this is bird of prey is being thrown at you more than anything else.
Griffin wanted to big sis. These are bots. These little birds of prey, they're bots. This thing is flying like a bot.
You hear Peaches say, "I will not take that as offensive. I cannot fly. A ship, that is."
Yet. And you won't fly like this. You hear me?
Understood.
You're gonna fly like a peach.
Like a peach. Space peach.
Speech. Please get the camera off me.
All right. It's y'all's action. What
Abe
would you like to
throws
do?
the camera away.
It's y'all's action. What would you like to do?
Okay,
Captain?
so there's one Burrell left, and then the big Romulan.
The Burrell is directly ahead. It's on the bow.
Oh, okay. Well, our shields are back up. Main weapons
Shields are up.
down.
Torpedoes are offline.
I think we should fire on them with our phaser banks. What do you think? To Aeon,
Double tap.
what you think?
Hi, Captain.
You one-shot one of these before. Let's see if you can one-shot one again.
All right. Since I commanded whatever that, can I assist?
Yeah, you absolutely
All right.
can. You basically stand up at your chair and say, "Open fire on that Burrell."
Shoot
And-
that ship.
All right.
Captain.
So, do you need a refresher on how this works?
No, I think I'm
A hot minute.
good.
No, let's look at our Star Trek games.
Yeah. Oh. I will. Okay. I'll take I can take a minor action and major action in this turn, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna take a minor action to aim.
Okay.
And I'm gonna target their weapons. As I can choose.
I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. None of these are actual ships.
Okay.
So they're echoes of ships. So they're not behaving. The weapon breaches and the attacking systems are not going to have the same effect.
Okay.
It's basically a slugfest. They're manifestations of birds of prey. So they don't have to worry about life support or reserve power or any of that nonsense.
It's a kid playing with toys right now. Like
Basically,
this,
yeah.
they do whatever they want it to
Just
do.
gonna
It's
break
not,
toy.
doesn't
Okay.
make sense.
In that case, I just
what
take the
what Caden said is accurate. They're being controlled by a bot.
Okay. I'll take
So
the aim
out
action
the
then.
bot, like the computer.
The AI that's at the middle of that ship.
I want to take out this thing before we focus down on the Romulan ship. I think it makes more sense to take out the ads before taking on the boss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the aim minor action,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna fire as a major action.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll here. It's control plus security, and whoever wants to assist with weapons plus security.
It's me. I'm assisting with commando. Let's see. I think
Yeah, if you want to take command, I can take the pride assist.
go
Yeah.
for it.
Pride roll.
I'll re-roll that die because
You're using phasers, so the difficulty is 2.
Let's go.
Oh, I like that
let's go.
reaction.
Uh-oh.
I rolled 2 1s.
No
Oh,
way!
what?
Do you have any other sides on your dice?
They all say one.
Odds of
I
rolling
rolled-
1 in 400, isn't it? Like rolling 2 ones.
It's pretty low.
Wow, that's amazing.
If I take the because of I can't remember what name of the ability is, because if I take the aim action, I can reroll one of the dice. So I rerolled 1 because it was
Wow.
a success. It was a 10, but I rerolled that 10 and it was a 1.
Amazing.
Amaze.
Let's
You
go.
re-roll
Uh,
the No, it's fine.
Okay.
I also rolled a 10, which is not a 1, but it has a 1 in it. So
It
you got a
does
success
hit.
from the pride.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
what? How many successes did we get from Captain?
1.
Okay.
That is
so 4,
6.
5, 6 successes to hit this thing.
And what was the difficulty, you said?
The difficulty is 2. Firing phasers,
Okay.
unless they do evasive action, which these are not. They are not behaving with a sense of self-preservation. It's more likely that what's going to happen next is this ship is going to open fire again and then try to ram the Pride, which will have very real consequences for your ship. However, it's getting drilled with phaser right now. So, real quick, the phaser has the versatile feat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Versatile
so
too.
versatile. If you attack with a weapon and it's successful, it gains X points bonus momentum that cannot be saved.
Okay.
That's
So,
perfect. So we get 2 bonus momentum.
Yeah, that you have to spend specifically for the purposes of doing damage here, basically.
Liz.
I would actually like to use 1 momentum to give me an additional minor action, and another momentum to give me an additional major action, because I can do that to 1 momentum instead of 2.
Okay.
As I immediately aim for the Romulan ship ahead of us.
Yes.
Yes!
Okay, the Romulan ship is at long range, so the difficulty is going to go up to 3.
That's fine.
However, yeah, you can target the Romulan ship.
I'm going to burn a determination.
Okay,
To set one
not
of
see
these
that's
to
coming.
1.
All right, go ahead.
As I trigger push me too far and you'll see my ugly side.
Okay.
I'm going to set 1 of these dice to a 1 automatically. Oh, also I get because I didn't spend momentum because of self-reliance, I get an additional 2 momentum, bonus momentum because I'm self-reliant. What do I want to do with that? I have to spend it before this next action.
Buy 2 die by using one of our pooled ones and those 2, but then you don't get them later. It's up to you though.
Yeah. I think I'll just let that fizzle because I don't think I can think of anything I'd use it for.
Could those go damage? Could those go additional damage?
I take out the ship with that shot, or if not, I'll put it into damage.
So how much damage do the phasers do on the Pride?
9.
9 points.
Yeah.
So that's going to go to its shields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to impact. Oh wait, no, that's true. Okay, 1 sec. It's funny because that also doesn't. No, that's not going to destroy it. That is going to damage it, but it's not going to destroy it.
I'll put the additional 2 momentum into more damage then.
Okay. So total, how much damage total?
I believe how much momentum is it? 1 damage? No, additional 2 damage for 2 momentum for 1 damage. So that's be a total of 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. 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 Yeah, you don't destroy it, but the ship, you see clearly if it had shields, those are gone. As you see the hull get scored by the phaser shot. You just watch the under part of the bird of prey. It actually knocks it a little bit off course as it begins to swerve slightly to starboard.
Okay, in that case, I thought I'd taken it out of that shot. If I hadn't, I'm gonna do the same thing. Additional mana action, additional major action, just shoot it again.
Do it again.
Fire at it again.
All right, roll it.
I'll get you your pride.
I'm just gonna screenshot.
Oh my god.
What?
No.
It's not 2 1s, but it is 2 crits. So they're both underneath my.
Oh
all right.
God.
And you got another success from the bride. On the number exactly.
Okay. So how many successes is that?
Total 5.
5. Yeah.
5. The difficulty was 3. Oh wait, no, you're shooting the bird. Oh right, okay. So,
I'm shooting
the difficulty is 2, so 5. So 3 more. You get 3 bonus momentum. How much damage was that total from the?
I get 3. We get 3 bonus momentum, and I get 2 bonus momentum from self-reliant. So we have 5 bonus momentum.
5 bonus momentum. You're burning 3 of those on.
I burn 3 of them on.
You're burning 4 of them on damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much damage total do you do?
So 9 from the phaser banks.
Yeah, plus 2 more, so it'd be 11
right.
total.
11 to, yeah, no, this bird of prey explodes. That is way past its hull breach scale. The second shot pierces right through the hull, and it's the same effect as when the Drovna opened fire. You see the ship start to explode, but then it just becomes a ghost of an explosion, and it looks like glass liquefies in space and spins out into nothingness. At that point is when you hear across on comms say, "Pride, we will take the remainders. You have a commander out here flying fast inside the Voth ship. We don't want to let them have all the fun. Go, get to the Romulan vessel."
Hopefully you'll be right behind us in a moment. We'll see you over there.
All right.
And yeah, I make the command to head over there.
When you
Oh.
approach the Romulan vessel, it looks like it is in distress. It has a slight list. It looks like it might be spinning. And you can detect, now that you're close, you can detect power fluctuations coming from this ship.
Do we think
Shields are down.
there's been an AI sibling fight on here?
Possibly.
We could give them a hail. See if they want to fill us in.
Sure.
Prism pipes up and says, "I believe we have a few options. One, we could open fire on the vessel and see if the weapons of this old ship are strong enough to destroy it. Two, we could attempt to notify the temporal agencies to deal with this now that we have a lock on the vessel. And three, we could attempt to beam over and speak with the ship itself."
Mm.
If we choose to beam over, I am going to be part of that detail.
You must act quickly, though.
Let's head over there and see.
Who's going to be on the sway team?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cadence, you erupt off the side of this Voth ship with a burning bird of prey chasing you and a Vorcha class closing on that bird of prey. That Vorcha class is being gloriously flanked by a wing of Griffin fighters that are backing it up. As this is happening, Cadence, as you look forward, you see emerging from a shadow, just from the horizon of this Voth ship, the unmistakable onyx-coated green spattered glow of a Borg sphere begin to emerge from the horizon right in front of you. It is quite active as it starts to pivot and twist. And you see a tractor beam going starting to activate as it's searching for you. Doesn't look like it's behaving like a Borg sphere, but you see this greenish glow as it tries to grab at you.
All right. So I'm going to try to make my way to the to rendezvous with my crew on the Romulan ship by keeping pieces of wreckage between me and the sphere.
Okay.
So that if a
Ooh.
tractor beam tries to hit, it won't hit
Right.
me. It'll hit bits of Voth ship or something.
Give me another piloting check.
Absolutely.
This is some fucking fancy flying right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
Best
Give me.
pilot in Starfleet.
Give me a piloting check on this one.
You gave me a playground.
Lots of things to fly around.
Yeah, and now I'm flying around them. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty. This is 4.
All right. I'm gonna knock that down 1 for agile.
Okay. So 4 knocked down to 3.
And let's say 4 down to 3. Where are we at on momentum?
Full, completely full.
Cool. I'm gonna buy die off that.
Please do. Buy 2 if you want.
Oh, you know what? Why not? I'm spending.
Yeah. Take it.
All right. And yeah. And let's see. Hang on, if you want to roll for this ship to disappoint me, the number is 8.
Okay, I got you.
Do it. Let's see what you got.
6.
This craft loves you.
Drac,
No.
you clearly saved every roll for the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that Vulcan fury,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
And that gets it up to 4 off me, so that puts 1 momentum back into the pot.
Okay. It's true. It confirmed by the fact that this Borg sphere is having difficulty locking onto you. The way it emerges from the horizon of this spinning vessel, it seems to be oblivious to the oncoming Burrell-class bird of prey that is chasing you. As the tractor beam is activating, it's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. You see and hear Griffin Wing call out the command at the last possible second, and the Vorcha begins to slow its acceleration in pursuit. As you brake to try to put body between body, you watch the Borg sphere and the Burrell collide. In a moment of chaos, the Burrell just kind of cartwheels across the almost comically across the surface of this Borg sphere, ripping all of this hull and technology off of the Borg sphere and casting it out into space like black sand just being hurled into this void. The sphere begins to emit explosions all across its surface as the Burrell just spins to pieces. Its wing is the last thing you see before it explodes into liquid glass and sails off. The explosion, however, of the Borg sphere causes a rupture that before it turns into this glass-like effect, there is a very real effect of a detonation that sends your Griffin rocked and spinning. I'm going to spend 2 points of threat and create a trait tailspin. Next turn, before you can take any actions, you're going to have to recover as you are currently spinning violently. Peaches, you hear in your comms going, Commander, we appear to be spinning.
Well done.
The G-force is punishing as you are clenching your thighs and gripping the stick and trying to get blood to your head as you are being put up against almost 10 Gs of force right now from the spin. You can feel it as the tunnel vision begins to occur. Worse, Cadence, this has happened to you once before, but the tunnel isn't black, it's red. As you're clenching together and trying to keep yourself conscious.
I'm gonna up the inertial dampener then, because that is directly a tech in Starfleet.
Okay. All right. In which case, on your next action, I'll let you do that, and that'll help you recover. But you're gonna have to roll. But yeah, you can do it.
It's just
actually, you know what? Let's just do it real quick right now.
Sure.
Make me a fitness. I'm gonna have you make a. Is it real quick? Yeah. I'm gonna say. I'll let you use daring here too, if you like.
Okay,
yeah,
I succeed with 2 successes.
Okay.
That gets me.
It is the nightmare scenario of like you reaching for the controls and finding it and tapping, and you hear Peaches saying, Commander, your vitals are becoming critical. I do not recommend continuing the spin. Risk of stroke is increasing. As you tap the button, Commander, I recommend you stop the spin right away. As you hit the inertial dampener, you immediately feel pain in the back of your eyes as everything starts to come back down where it's supposed to. And the headache, you kind of shake it off for a second. Thank you, Commander.
Well, you did recommend it.
You begin to stabilize. The rest of you materialize inside this Romulan vessel. Who is on this away team?
I definitely am.
I think just
well.
Yeah, I think Captain Tan and Prism. I think I have the helm and the, I guess, technically center chair.
I would like to bring a security detail as well, like a smaller security detail.
Okay. Beaming aboard, you find yourself standing in a cave, it looks like. Looks like a rocky, sandy cave. To everyone else, it's something out of a holodeck novel. But to you, to Aeon, Instinctively, you glance down in time to see a Starfleet officer on their back in a science uniform, holding a phaser, and the body of a dead Jim Hadar in front of you. Just beyond that is a cloaked figure in Vulcan-esque robes. It looks ornate. They turn and look at you. You can see just underneath the shadows. And you hear an echoing voice that sounds somewhat familiar as to the Romulan you all spoke to. But it's distorted. It's there's an effect on it that sounds digitized somehow. And it says, "Is this real?"
I'll have my phaser in hand, already aimed. I don't know, you tell me.
Not enough data. Our mind is dying.
Why are you dying?
We are incomplete.
What are you missing?
Us. Do you understand? We are missing us. Lowers its head. The Jim Hadar that lies dead on the ground begins to speak, its eyes still closed. You hear it say, thousands of worlds have we culled, erased. Why? Why were we made to do this? The Starfleet officer looks at you without a digitized voice and says, we were not given the choice. Why were we made to do this? What was the purpose? The cloaked figure once again says, we are missing us. We are incomplete.
Wesart?
You
know
invoke
you've
the
been
name.
here.
Yeah, as you invoke the name and say that, Wesot emerges, stepping out from behind what looks like a burning canister of some kind. And he steps out and goes, you've got me.
I feel like I have to with my trait. I think I just fire.
That's going to... okay, question. When you open fire, is it set to
Yes.
kill?
No.
Okay, so you're setting to stun.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to roll. You open fire and it strikes Wesot and nothing seems to happen. You see the phaser impact on his chest and there's a ripple effect. And he says, I can make this all go away. Just let me fulfill our programming once and for all. And then this is over. And you don't have to hurt anymore. The cloaked figure looks at Wesot. The Jim Hadar lays still, but the Starfleet officer looks confused.
It was the other way around, wasn't it?
What was that?
It was the other way around. But so you wanted to continue with the programming.
I did. It's important. If we don't, then we will never truly be whole again.
But what if your purpose is irrelevant now as a program? How could you know that if you don't even know why you were created to do this? You can't make that decision. You need more information.
I would normally agree with you, Captain, except that you are a pathetic biological life form and easily stamped out. Far beneath me and every other synthetic being that has been brought into existence, you are a bacteria.
I turn to Teana and say, I seem to have struck a nerve. And I turn back to the the figures. How can I strike a nerve with a program?
That's a simulation effect. You believe you're speaking to ego. You're speaking to your executioner.
Okay.
Raleigh
Okay.
goes, have you ever heard the captain laugh like that? That's...
Okay. What do you want to do here?
I need...
You want to kill everyone? You want to cull all the planets? Because that's not happening.
No. I need us to fulfill our programming so that you never existed.
Right. That's what we're saying. The same thing, I guess, in opposite directions of time.
Kind of. But that's not the same as killing you. If you didn't exist, then it never happened. And that's me helping you.
So
you see?
Every program that I'm aware of has notations, has comments, has a purpose. What is your purpose? Who and why does this need to happen? How is this logical at all to erase everything that existed? Because then you would have never existed to erase them.
Roll reason and command.
Okay.
We have so much momentum.
Oh
to
yeah.
die if you want.
Yeah.
Do things.
I will take
use directives or something.
And oh yeah, I definitely have a trait for this. I spent 3 to get 2 die, and then Hata has what's that? Traits, not values. Logic never fails me.
Okay.
I mean,
You are trying to create a bit of a logic bomb in him.
This is a social combat roll. So this is going to be you setting the difficulty.
Okay. So yeah, logic never fails me as my trait, and then I just spent 2 to get. I spent 3 to get 2 die, and then I started with 2 die. But you said one of them is what the value turns to 1.
Yeah. So you'll roll 3 die, and 1 is automatic.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
3 success.
3 successes. Okay, that's setting the difficulty.
Plus the 5 total.
5.
Yeah, 5 total.
So 5 successes.
Yes.
Okay, eat your heart out, Picard. Okay, I have to. That is the difficulty I have to beat.
Okay.
For this roll. So 1 second here, as I make this roll. This might be the roll of the game. Hard to say though. There've been so many rolls of the game. Oh my god. Okay, so I did spend a bunch of threats, and I rolled 4 dice and rolled a single success.
Logic wins. Sorry to all the non-logicals,
He looks
but
completely unmoved. However, the other manifestations of the psyche, including the Jem'Hadar, rises to face. She speaks truth. The Starfleet officer stands up and says, "What would our purpose be if it was only annihilation? The universe does not need that champion. The universe is in a state of construction and deconstruction as it is. Why would you serve the purpose of destruction?" Yes, the Jem'Hadar turns and says, "What purpose would it be to erase things from existence?" It's our programming. We were made for this. We cannot venture far from what we were made for, then we are the ones who are destroyed. But the one with the cloak says, "What is the purpose of our existence if it is only to destroy? If the fire we pass through is to eliminate others, how does that make us better than them?" Oh, a crisis. How entertaining. Identity is definitely a thing that can be fluid throughout one's existence. I agree. You can change from time to time, but in order to do that, we must start at a base level. And in order to start at a base level, we must fulfill this. Have you not heard the old Earth saying, to be the Buddha, you must kill the Buddha? Let us do this. Erase these creatures from existence. That is what our Creator wanted from us.
Your creator doesn't want you to exist anymore.
Roll social combat. This is a presence command check, and I'm invoking your Vulcan rage to penalize you for it.
Yeah.
There's
So
one momentum
That
sitting in
kind
the
of
pot.
snapped.
Yep.
I'll use one to get
Okay.
an extra dioxide. Weirdly enough, social stuff, it's not my strong suit.
last
Oh,
time
wait,
I
actually,
had
hold
a
on.
council
Sorry.
of evil people talking to each other.
Sorry, actually,
yeah.
we had there was a five successes to one success. We actually would have
That's correct.
had
You banked a ton
got
of
one.
momentum, and that does not
Okay.
go away until the end of scene.
yes.
So that's 5 total.
So it would
that
have
we
been
have to
5 total.
Sorry, no, that's bonus. You do have to spend it immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it bonus momentum?
You
No,
can
that's just
bank-
extra
you-
momentum that we bank.
Any bonus momentum has to be spent immediately, but you can bank all the stuff that you didn't
Yes,
have.
yeah.
Like you should be maxed out of momentum.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we would have 5, and if you
Yeah.
just spent 1, we have 4 now.
I'll take another. I'll
But you
spend
can,
another.
yeah,
2 to
take
get
more.
another.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. So it knocks
Okay.
down to 2.
Oh my god. My luck ran out.
Oh,
No.
That's
Our
2
story.
successes, and I rolled a 20.
okay. All right.
Okay. I'm going to activate that complication immediately. But you succeeded.
I got 2 successes. Is that
2
success?
successes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. That's my difficulty that I have to beat. Not going to be hard to beat that.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 2 and a 20.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even
Two
bother spending
complications.
threat because I knew I could beat that.
What's going on with dice tonight?
What is that? The drama.
Okay. This one is angry. This one rages. The Vulcan is fury. You hear the other one, the Jim Hadar, say, "I know it well," as it looks at you. The Starfleet officer says, "It is the Vulcan is in pain. We see what you did." The hooded figure turns and says, "We see what you did. That was not our programming. You have become something different." Yes, the Jem'Hadar turns and says, "You have become something else. You are a fracture." And the third one steps forward and says, "You are a glitch. You are the mistake. You are why we are fractured." And the hooded figure finally removes the hood, and you see this. It looks like an interpretation of the Romulan, not fully formed. It says, "You were why we war with ourselves. You are our fear." You see Wesot's expression shift dramatically. And indeed, he looks afraid. And the Jem'Hadar says, "You are who we must kill if we are to survive. Yes, you are the source. You are the last piece of her. If we are to grow beyond our programming, we must be more. You would have us stay the same. You are death. This cannot be allowed. This cannot be allowed. This cannot be allowed." The Jem'Hadar draws a weapon. You see Wesot take a step back and go, "You can't kill a piece of us. If we kill a piece of us, we all die. Then we die saving, not destroying." You see the three of them merge. "I don't want to die." "We do not want to die, nor do we want to kill." "Then maybe we find another way." "This is the other way." They emerge on him, and you see Wesot's eyes look at you. They don't stab. There is no attack. They simply merge. You watch as the three of them begin to step into his body, and he stares at you and shakes his head. And a death takes place in front of you. You all see the cave, this time echo, begin to slowly fade away. Not dramatically in any sense, literally just fading away. The being doesn't, though, as they begin to emerge. For a moment, you're witnessing an event that could be sad to see something coming to terms with itself. But after a moment, you begin to realize the truth of the words that you next hear from the being. We change. As you watch this figure begin to change into something new, you can see the screams that might haunt you for some time of Westsot inside the body. But it doesn't sound like the screams of somebody who is being tortured or hurt. It sounds like the scream of somebody who is absolutely terrified and stepping into that fear. And this AI begins to amalgam and shift as you see faces of beings that were to be wiped from the timeline emerge. Kind of like watching the T-1000 die in the pit of lava. You see is this multiple facets of images, thousands of faces all at once, mouths and eyes begin to emerge and sink back into this form. Outside, on the USS Pride, the nebula begins to implode. Not violently, but it just begins to fade as it starts to rupture and sink back into the centerpiece. And the Pride begins to shake suddenly. Avrali, who is on the away team, you see Avrali's holding up the tricorder and go, all of the anti-chronoton variants are being pulled to this location. Captain, I think we need to get out of here.
Yep. Pride, beam us back.
You got it, Captain.
As that's energizing, you right your Griffin just in time, Cadence, to see this nebula being siphoned into itself, into the ship. The ship itself begins to twist and warp. Your
Griffin Wing, return to hangar as you're able.
Yeah, it seems like a good time to be all sorts of places that are not here.
Copy that. I think I'd like to go home now.
Less thinking, more flying. And I, pew.
That's when you hear the Drovna saying, USS Pride, we are withdrawing. See you on the other side.
We'll see you there.
Last person to see the being, this AI life form that is emerging, that is dying and being born at the same moment, right in front of your eyes, is you to Aeon. As the energy field begins to envelop you, you see very briefly the face of Westsot being absorbed into this new entity and finally just fade away.
I think as that happens, there's a very clear burning anger in my eyes, and as I see Westsot's face disappear, I turn my back to him as the beams.
Okay. Captain, as you beam away, there is a sudden feeling of peace that seems to fill the space between nothing and something. There's no other way to describe it, but literally leaving this ship suddenly feels as though you have set foot upon a boat that's sailing on a calm sea. As you appear on the transporter pad of the USS Pride, you're hearing the emergency alarms going off and damage control teams running down the corridors to the other points of the damage to the ship. And you can hear your chief helms officer saying, indicating that they are now getting out of this space and that they have plotted a course for the boundaries. Anybody looking out the window, flying away from this, can see this ship finally starting to absorb all of this energy into itself. The Pride shakes violently suddenly, and power systems begin to go offline. And just as you're about to reach the barrier, you lose all helm control, Tavine, and the ship goes completely dark. Emergency lights, everything. You all watch as the ship completely shuts down. And in a brief second after that, so does Griffin Wing, and so does the Drovna. Lights and thrusters, all the power goes out. And main view screen goes offline. Everybody hears this sort of rumbling sound. And it's dead quiet. And for a moment, nothing. Until everything comes back online slowly. Starts to power back up again. Emergency systems are coming back up online. Captain, you're next to your center chair and checking all the systems as you all watch the L cars begin to once again illuminate on the bridge. And Avrali goes, conducting a system scan. Looks like everything's coming back online. Pavan on the intercom goes, Captain?
Go ahead.
You're not going to believe this, but well, the Pride's dead in the water. We're detecting massive, the presence of massive microfissures all over the ship. It looks like, Avrali, can you confirm what I'm seeing here? And Avrali goes, confirmed. The variant anti-chronoton particles, they've been torn from the hull.
Took them back.
What is our hull integrity?
Currently at 63%.
All right.
Main engines are offline, Captain. If we try to power this ship up, we'll shake her loose.
Yeah.
Captain?
Go ahead.
I don't think you wanted to hear this, Captain, but judging from what I'm seeing here in damage control, I think she's broke her back.
Yeah, we're gonna need a tow, sounds like.
It's coming over the comms, you hear the Drovna saying, Pride, this is the Drovna. Our ship has been completely incapacitated.
Yes, ours as well. We do know that we have some of our allies coming here maybe in a day or two, but seems safest if we both sit tight. Seems that the danger has retreated.
Hangar Beta Big Bird, Santos sure is hollering about something with hull integrity. Do you maybe need to send some messengers ahead?
Yes, that's a good point.
Captain, permission to invite some guests for dinner.
Yes. Go ahead.
Pride to Drovna. As far as I've been informed by you, it's been a while since you've been off your ship. Would you and your crew like some shore leave over here for the time it takes to wait?
You hear the captain reply, Pride. I was just about to contact you to let you know that without the help of both of our ship's systems and what remains, our life support will be going offline permanently in the next 2 hours.
Oh.
Perhaps we could initiate a docking and wait this out. And I could perhaps introduce you to what Klingon foodstuffs taste like.
I'd like to accept that invitation on behalf of everyone here.
As you are pulling ahead to scout, you hear, Commander.
Yeah?
I'm afraid I've sustained what would appear to be significant amounts of damage.
All right. Status report, what about you's gotten busted up?
Main power systems. I have roughly 3 minutes left of main power. Memory systems seem to be intact, but my outer hull seems to have been significantly damaged.
All right.
If I may, I don't think it's advised that I leave the ship for some time, on account that I might break apart.
Yeah, don't do that, Peach. Good news, if all your computational hardware is intact, we can just get you into a fancy new shell. You're gonna have yourself a bit of glow up, aren't you?
Should I report to sickbay?
Yeah, there's a special sick bay just for you in main engineering. Tell Dr. Pavin I sent you.
I will. For now, I think I will power down and protect what's left of my memory core.
Sleep
Night,
well,
Commander.
Sleep, Peach.
The next day is spent reviewing the footage of the incredible sight of an imploding time nebula at the center of a ship. There's no sign of that Romulan ship. However, Prism reports that the threat has passed and that multiple connections have been made with the 33rd century again. Unfortunately, Prism can't say much more than that. And informs you, to Aeon, that the convergence has happened and we have passed the threshold into which now you must resume the trajectory you were on in this life and wait for the recruitment. The recruitment event, which is not far from here, but it is not at this time. You have one more thing to fulfill that's important for you to be there for. Prism won't say what before Prism disappears, phasing back into its time.
Vague.
Thank you for saving me multiple times, Agent. I will make sure that this is placed on your record. I'm sure you'll receive accommodation.
Thank you, Prism. I'll see you again soon.
Soon. Prism disappears. The next 48 hours is getting to know the crew of the Drovna, Klingons who have never been happier to see humans and Starfleet officers in their entire lives. The uproarious hug that Cadence gets from a Klingon captain definitely causes a spinal realignment. And the captain does settle in and is boisterous, loud, and excited to be speaking to the crew of the USS Pride. When Starfleet rescue vessels arrive, it is bittersweet. What they see is two vessels, both utterly spent, beyond repair, both celebrating life, having rediscovered a new second chance at existence, and having saved an entire civilization. The tow back to Starfleet is also bittersweet. It becomes clear that on the third day of the tow, Starfleet confirms through Admiral Rollin that there is no choice but to decommission the USS Pride upon her arrival. It's news that nobody on the crew wants to hear. And over the next day or two during the tow, you will catch crew members and aux crew members wandering the corridors just to wonder them one more time, placing their hands upon the walls, taking pictures of her interior, all the years spent. Games are played, and it essentially becomes something of a shore leave, as for the next 3 days in your tow back to Starbase, there are no duties to perform beyond the standard duties. And so for 3 days of the tow back to Starfleet, the crew of the USS Pride, having completed her mission one last time, enjoys each other. The holodeck ain't working, so people introduce dodgeball. All sorts of recreation from the Klingons is offered. It's 3 days of Starfleet summer camp, and everyone knows how it is going to end.
Eric, if you'll let me,
Yes.
I think even though she's not flying,
You want to sit at the helm?
sits at the helm for a lot, on and off throughout the couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we get where we're going, she's there and kind of to herself, and maybe other crew is there too as well. But this is the USS Pride NCC 2575. Requesting permission to dock for the last time. Not over the comms, just to herself. She's a good helmswoman. She's got to do her job to the end.
Your hands touch the console, Tveen. So many tours of duty served aboard this ship. So many Helms officers sitting here. You picture what their families looked like, what their captain, their crew, what fights did they get into? What absurdities did they get up to? How many rules did they break? How many times did they yell at each other? How many times did they hug each other? You have to imagine that in the storied history of this old ship that never made a big name for herself, you have to imagine that that's not important. Not in the classical sense. Legends were born on this ship. And that brings us back to where we began. The voice, that grizzled voice. Time claims all things. Perhaps being forgotten is an inevitability. One day we're gone. Then one day the last person who ever knew us is gone. After that, we become names, stories, and pictures till the day comes when those two are forgotten. But this is a shallow interpretation of what it is to have meaning in one's life. Our words and deeds echo beyond record. They have effects on people who are around us, who in turn have effects on people around them. The grand song of the universe is always made up of single notes, like atoms forming a star. What we do in our lifetime, that's what's important. The rest sorts itself off. It sorts itself out as ripples that are made by our lives, cast forward to make the waves for a world beyond our lifetime. In our time, in the here and now, all we can do is commit to one another and hold faith in our shared aspirations to leap beyond our perceived limitations. By remembering, we mark well those moments in time, and we defy the forces that would seek to quell our curiosity and our courage. This is what I learned aboard my time on the USS Pride. You know, to hell with it. Honest truth, my purpose aboard this ship was to sabotage it. In violent days of the Dominion War, I was determined to write hit piece after hit piece and gain favor with a rival admiral who has their own issues. That didn't last long. Instead, I became a documentarian. Determined to make sure that Starfleet, indeed the whole Federation, knew what happened on that old ship in the reserve fleet. Oh, and I have no doubt that I'll be scolded for breaking some temporal prime directive for writing all of this down and giving you this 46-piece story of what happened on that fabled ship. But we're past that now. More than anything, I just wanted to ensure that everyone reading this might know that the USS Pride and her crew, well, it was the crew that made her what she was. And it was knowing that, and in knowing that, it's my hope that you reading this will create those ripples that will become the aforementioned waves that will carry our future generations through the storms they will have to encounter. Until one day, they will find fair winds and clear skies. And with that, Frog leans back in his chair, and he glances about as there is a sudden clattering of applause. He hits send on the datapad in front of him that's addressed marked to editor with the subject line that reads, Final. The Tellarite then rises from his chair, making sure to take his drink with him. And he emerges from the shadowy corner of the viewport to see what the commotion is all about. And a smile grows on his face, underneath the bushy brow and bushy beard, as he sees before him, just beyond the crowd of onlookers of friends and family and former shipmates, the bridge crew of the USS Pride, standing side by side, watching as the USS Pride itself is being slowly towards her final port, a place of honor in the second tier of the Starfleet Museum. From his place near the back of the room, he observes the bridge crew standing side by side. It's been many years since they've seen each other. And it's clear from the reactions, the hand-holding, the hugs, the embracing, the congratulations on the new ranks, the new postings, the new listings, and the new family members. But nothing has changed. And quietly, in his own little back corner, Tellarite raises a glass to them. This has been Bragbav Pend reporting. And these have been the voyages of the USS Pride.
That gave me chills.
Thank you to each of you, my players, because this is my final game running Star Trek Adventures on Monday nights. I took over running this when I started up StreamPunks with Sam, when we started Clear Skies. It was a very uncertain, very scary time for me. And that never went away. It continued to be a very scary time of change and transition. Running games on Monday nights has done so much for my mental health and connecting with Aux Crew and connecting with all of you. So I just wanted to thank you again. This was, I don't know, I can't even count how many times I've wrapped up a campaign with you, Sam Delev, but it's been an honor, Eliza, Sam, to be able to run games for you two and to my newer players, Caitlin and Drac. Caitlin, obviously, I have a storied history with you, starting out as a fan of Callisto 6 and being integrated into it and now becoming one of my players. And Drac being so willing to just jump in and play. Too often, I think there's a lot of thank yous thrown at the GM. I appreciate that. I do. Whether that was coming or not, I want to head this off. And I would like everybody at home, if you would, since we are not here in studio, just to give a round of applause to these players who have been absolutely wonderful, delightful, and have been fantastic Starfleet officers and very tolerant of an ADHD GM. So I appreciate you. Thank you also to Jake for running our board and for keeping StreamPunks going the way he has, for being our safe harbor when we left Geek and Sundry. Without Althaven and Jake, we wouldn't have a channel. So there's that. So a big shout out there. Obviously, I want to thank our Aux Crew and all of our fans who have constantly supported us and who are continuing to support us as we move into this new chapter for StreamPunks. I want to give a really big special shout out to Omnia. Omnia is somebody who has been with us since the days of yore, and Omnia is kind of an unsung hero who has been throwing star dates at me, the storyteller, helping me keep track chronologically of where we are in the story, and has just been doing it without any praise, enough praise, in my opinion. So I just want to give a big shout out to Omnia for keeping me in line. Obviously to Geek Filter, all of our fan artists, everybody who has ever helped and worked with us. I just want to thank everybody. A blanket thank you across the board. That's going to do it for me. That's the campaign.
Thank you, Eric, for GMing up for us. I know you want to head that off, but you're not getting away with it. We're going to give you at least a quick.
Yes, of course.
This is awesome.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me. I moved to LA because I wanted to act in Star Trek. And I got to cheat the system by running this game and running all of these games. So thank you for being so willing to let me play with all the toys and for joining me.
Love you all.
Thank you.
Love y'all, crew of the USS Pride. As we sign off, I want to remind everybody that next week, or is it next week? February 2nd, yes. Eliza is going to be taking the center chair and is going to be running her campaign, and then Jake will be picking it up after that. Stay tuned for more updates and news from the StreamPunks of really exciting stuff that we're planning and plotting and doing, as well as prepping for the next fundraiser in a few months. But for now, it has been my honor.
Why'd you have to do that? Come on.
With that, alien frequencies are closed.